Please don't tell me I missed. I missed. I suck. Defenders back. I don't know. This one's actually pretty fun.
Huh?
This one's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's tricky though, because I'm missing a player everywhere.
No rules is definitely more fun.
That was tight.
You're also on ultra hacking, too.
You?
You are.
Oh yeah. That was. Well, I usually just do normal attack.
Yeah.
I like going ultra attack towards the end.
Why did it switched my account but didn't close the dashboard?
Is this the Quakes versus Guatemala?
Switch account.
No.
Oh, it's a different sim day.
It's
Yeah.
Santos.
Santos Laguna.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't play it.
If I can play it, you can play it.
I know, I gotta study. I got major study.
Oh, you got major studying to do. I gotta do some later too, but this is my girlfriend for later. You thought.
You didn't mean to do
No,
that.
I didn't mean to do that.
You thought. Bench players aren't playing.
We're now.
No! No! Oh no!
Shh, Jonathan's streaming.
No, he hasn't started yet.
I am live actually.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's watching yet, but it's fine.
Sorry, bro.
Manny, it was your insightful commentary that made the last stream so much fun. So
I don't know if I'm gonna watch your stream.
no, that's you don't have to.
If I can, I'll
I don't know why you did last time. It was weird actually.
That's weird.
Yeah, you were like, I'm just gonna watch, even though you don't even care. But
I had it firsthand though.
you were there firsthand.
There was
Hey man,
no
we're still
delay.
gonna make that game about the exploding soccer ball. Don't worry.
Ooh. Oh no. You should finesse that.
I know.
Oh, that actually went.
Oh, go!
Jonathan's streaming.
Hi.
He's not. He's awake.
Not dreaming.
I'm not sleeping. All right. Now we start.
No, wait,
I've sent the
Oh yeah.
chat messages to the internet. Let me see. I think.
I don't know how that was a clean tackle. It's 3-2, guys. Come on.
What was I gonna? Okay. Let's get our first compile done for the day. Hey Luna, how's it going?
Hi.
Oh, this crispy treat got glued to my
I
napkin.
hit 3.
That's
Wait,
not
that means
good.
I only have 6 players on the field. No, 7.
That's good for me.
I'm gonna get this napkin off of my dessert.
I mean,
I'll stop.
okay, so yeah, I'm missing.
Like, lost the game. Jesus, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm just like addicted. Playing football.
Okay, Edward, I am streaming now. Can you bounce the ball in a different room?
Are there
Thanks.
people watching though?
I'll go
Yes,
release
there is
my
someone
name and
watching.
Keon
Is it that
Yes,
what's the person's name?
it's Luna from last week.
Luna, that's
Hey
right.
Luna, how's it going? As soon as I get this napkin off of this Rice Krispie that I wanted to eat, I will start doing stuff. Okay, we did it. I'm just gonna hold it in my left hand and work with my right hand. Alright, let's...
Eating while streaming?
Yeah, eating while streaming. Hey, man.
Okay, we'll have one defender.
This is not an official or proper stream. We're just silly people doing things. Evan's World. Hey! Stopping by to say hi. How are you doing? Let's go. So today... Oh, actually, we need a new... Uh-oh. Oops. I forgot. I had this disabled. We actually are going to today...
Oh my god!
Hey, Parker.
He's streaming.
He's streaming.
It's such a joke now. We are today working on the story and the lore aspects of this. So I'm rushing to make a new account, a new file. Lose all my save progress, oh well. And play mostly through the game in order. But I want to take special attention to the story, the characters that are talking, and see if there's anything that I can simplify. So we're just going to play the beginning part, and then I'll go look at the... Oops, I did it again. Hold on. Look at the code and see if there's any stuff that we can cut out. So let's make a new game.
It was supposed to land right there.
There we go.
It landed up there.
New game from save file.
How does that happen?
Patrick.
Alright, so...
Hey, people.
You doing a face cam?
No, I don't have face cam. Is that chewing really loud? Maybe I shouldn't eat while on stream, they were right. Randall, stay in the house.
They mixed this with no gold.
So originally I was thinking maybe we should flesh out the beginning a little longer, because right now it's like pretty sudden and you don't get very much information. I was thinking I could maybe spread it out a little longer and like have the elder, your grandfather, like explain the librarians. Hey Teyoyo.
You can only have a max of 2 red cards.
Bonjour. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. I was thinking maybe the grandfather could at the beginning actually explain some stuff about like what's going on. But I think that because of the nature of the exploration, eating keeps you healthy. Alright, that's good to know. And glad you're doing well, Teyoyo. Because of the exploration, just like Breath of the Wild, I really want to get you into the action right away. So I think that your grandfather just getting killed in the first few seconds, I think that's pretty memorable. Spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't played this yet. Old man, give me the library key. Never fiend that key will not touch evil hands. Librarian secrets are not for your eyes. Your defiance is remarkable. I'm reminded of the time when I was playing with Luna and Dirk, and we did voice acting for everything. I don't think I'm going to go that into it today, but that was a fun time. Fool, you're powerless to stop me. Maybe someday I'll add voice acting. We can have voice acting in this game. No, I'm joking. That's too much work. It cannot be.
Alright, sounds good. You'll have fun with your girlfriend.
Uh-oh. What?
Not too much fun.
Oh, well, that's a great start. Reminds me, you could have him already dead when the game starts. Reminds me of the beginning of Fable. Dirk and I would totally voice act. I actually haven't played Fable. I should maybe do that someday. You have him already dead when the game starts. That'd be even more sudden. I think it's cool to see him just blasted by magic. And Dirk and Luna would voice act. That's true. You guys totally would. Maybe we should. We could make it like an add-on later. That's an interesting way to start the game. Good. I'm glad you think so.
Exploding
what
balls.
object is this? This doesn't give me... Is there an instance ID? I need the... Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, so... Voice acting DLC. I have the dialogue from the beginning of Fable pretty memorized. It sounds like a game I should play then, if it's memorizable. That error means that one of the objects which I just recently changed the sprite for does not exist. Like the sprite changed. Which let's see, hold on, what's... That was in the middle of the cutscene, hold on, we can watch it again. That should explain stuff. And now the Rice Krispies is glued to my desk. That's marginally better than the napkin. Alright, let's go. Take note of when this happens, because it's probably something we created that in the middle of the cutscene. Hey, fool your power. No, it cannot be. It's after. It's seconds after. No, you cannot be. Okay, let's go look at the cutscene. This should be an easy fix, but not what I intended to start with. Story, cutscenes, key cutscene. Oh, is it the sword item? I'm pretty sure it's this one. Hold on. Yep, there we go. No sprite. That's what's going on here. Okay, we fixed it. We're good. I did change the sword sprite and didn't change the item sprite. Okay, now we can go through the cutscene properly. Let's do it. Rawr. Actually, I don't really know what that sound was supposed to be honest. Originally, it was the dragon sound that we used in Voyage to the Final Lands, the one jam game a while ago. Fool, your palace to stop me. Magic Blast. This whole thing needs to be programmed better, but we'll do that some other day. Oh, I forgot to read it. We'll look at it in the code. Okay, you are the last librarian, so that's basically him dying. I worked in the line about the Adrian family. That one is one of the ones I want to take a look at, so... The one major thing about the beginning of the game, there's two things. Or maybe three. I guess I want to make that cutscene better. That's something I'll do on my own time. The other two things is I want to explain the sword as a tutorial mechanic and not just when you pick up the sword. Right now it just tells you how to use it. But when you haven't even like walked around or used items before, if you skip that text, you're stuck, right? So that's one thing I want to work on. I want to make the sword a more interactive tutorial. Like, at the very least, I could put a sign here that said, equip the sword and swing it, so that you can read it over and over again instead of just the one time. And then the second thing is, I want, if possible, to simplify the text, cut some lines out to make the stuff all inside the library just a little faster. I mean, I think it's generally good, like, fine writing. Like, no one's like, oh, this is super stupid, why am I reading this? But I think it could be better than it is. So we watch the beginning, let's save and worry about the beginning first. Have the player attack a goon after getting the sword in the cutscene. Right, so if we go a little further left... Oh, Actually, I'm thinking about that. Well, if you go a little further left, you get to the plants that you have to chop down, and then there's the slime monsters that you fight. Those ones need to be improved, but that's not this stream. So I think progressively that's a pretty good... Mostly once people figure out how to equip the sword and use it, usually that works pretty well. But it's that equipping bit at the beginning that's troublesome. So I just want to look at that. I think that I'll think about some stuff. And then, okay, so let's go to the beginning. We can do the intro cutscene. This one's basically okay. So he says, Randall, you're sleeping, then you wake up. Then he says, Randall, stay in the house. That's good. Wait, actually, I just realized something. Create. Okay, so he is the elder. Okay, so Randall, stay in the house, and then actually that's it. He goes out of the house. That one's fine. That's a fine start. The sound effect can be replaced. Then, old man, give me the library key. I'm just thinking about this. Never fiend, that key will not touch your hands. Librarian secrets are not for your eyes. And then your defiance is remarkable. Fool, you're powerless to stop me. No, it cannot be. This is question mark, question mark, question mark, which matches the skeleton lord. It's also supposed to imply maybe the grandfather could have said it, but I don't know. Randall grandfather, that's important because... I'll mark that. Important. Because obviously you have to know that he is your grandfather. Did you create your own dialogue engine, asks Teyoyo. Yes, I did. This one might become a GameMaker asset. Question mark, question mark, question mark, has too many overdue books. You're so right. That's funny. I know response. I appreciate that comment. Thank you. Yeah, so I did make a dialogue engine. This might become a GameMaker asset at some point in the near future. I need to make it easier to use because it's very specific to me. But but yeah, it just works like text and then you can center the camera with this function, or wait for some number of ticks for this with this function. You can ask questions, not here, but there's questions, there's like jumping between points in the conversation, setting variables, running events, and things like that. So yeah, there's a couple I want to add, and then I need to like restructure it because the code's really messy. But then I might publish that as something that other people can use. There's a lot of dialogue engines, but I like mine, so may as well. No, it cannot be. This is fixing a bug. This is something that I would fix in the engine itself, but this is like a workaround. Then grandfather, that way we said that's important. Randall, my magic was only barely enough. You must find the librarian key before that villain comes back. It is within the village. Find it and open the library. I believe in you. And look for your parents. The Adrian family is still alive in some way. I know it. I cannot tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. Alright, so this line here feels odd. I put it in there because otherwise you literally have no idea as a player that Randall has parents that are somehow not here anymore. Yes, Luna has a thought. And actually, while you're doing that, I'm going to open up the grandfather leaving a note. Yeah, that was one thing I debated at the beginning. Where like maybe he'd have like a diary in the house. If you went back in, you could read it or something. So that's a good idea. That could definitely give some background lore to your parents. It's tricky though because I feel like I need the information about your parents to be required knowledge. Because like there's the bit with Librarian, I think Luna's probably played that part, where you learn a little bit more about your father and what he went to do. And then there's actually going to be like that whole thing about your parents is a whole like side story. Reed's note. Yo, boy, by the way, you have a fam. Okay, bye. I mean, yeah, that's kind of awkward. The problem is Randall does know he has a family. He doesn't know very much about like what happened to them. You know, I'm actually going to check what I wrote and maybe we'll come up with this, but really everything he knows, I don't know how much his grandfather told him necessarily, because part of the problem was Randall's father, Micah Adrian, he was a librarian, so the things he did were kind of secret, and that's why he ended up leaving on a librarian mission. So because Randall hasn't started his librarian training yet, he wouldn't have learned about that. So he kind of just knows his father left and then his mother left to go be with him. So like putting it in a note doesn't actually even make sense because the grandfather doesn't think he's going to die. But it has to be worked in a way that I know the player will get access to that knowledge because it's important knowledge for future things. So that's part of the trick here. That's why I put this line in here, but it doesn't feel right in this circumstance. So I'd like to either work it more around his parents or, you know, trim out unnecessary lines and put more information or have a note. Let me find, I have a, I'm really not good at doing things while I talk, so it kind of goes back and forth. I have a .wiki file. Okay, but like, didn't grandfather know something was going to happen because he was like, stay inside? So maybe there's something he left just in case. It's true, he probably has a will somewhere. When he says stay inside, it's like, you might die. Like, he knows something's going to happen, but he doesn't necessarily have time to like write a note or explain anything. He's like, oh dude, something bad's just about to happen. I have no control. Here, I'm opening the wiki page. This is all secret lore. It's also not necessarily canon, so don't worry too much. So let's see, I have a nice bit on, where is it? Kendlith. Nope, not that section. Characters Kendlith. Characters Farland Forest. Here we go. Here's the Micah and Jennifer Adrian are his parents. So Micah was in Kendlith, raised by the grandfather, who's Derek Adrian, and Randall's grandmother. Okay, but grandfather is magical, so he may have had a feeling the night before and written a note then. That works. Honestly, I'd rather say it's more likely that he documented it like before, just because it's good practice to have those kinds of things documented. So I think the note, definitely something we can work off of. It's just how to implement it in a way that you know the player will read it. And like, wouldn't it be in his house? And then how would you know that you only read it after you saw your grandfather get killed? I guess the grandfather could say, go read my note. That actually works. Oh, yeah, that works. Instead of like blethering about his parents, be like, go read the thing, and then maybe you could even get the Librarian Diary then? I don't know. Tayo says, you could have the player start away from the town and have Shul coming back, maybe use a word and sword to learn the mechanics, maybe your grandfather took you on a hunting trip or something. So that's actually kind of freaky that you say that, because that was my alternate plan when I was thinking about having a little more detail at the beginning, like him sending you out or something on a mission where he is like the first thing where he's going to teach you about being a librarian. But like I said earlier, I really want the beginning to be super short and sweet, where you just start, like you start the game literally right off the bat and your grandfather gets killed, to prove that, like, to just get players right into it. I want them to be swinging the sword around, killing slimes, reading ancient tombstones, solving riddles, entering ancient libraries, like, right off the bat, so that people aren't bored by the story right at the beginning. Honestly, if I could make it so that you could leave Kendlith without even going into Kendlith Library, I totally would. But that doesn't work for other reasons, like I need you to have the boomerang before you go out and stuff like that. Although, I'm going to mention now, I definitely want to have a master mode on this game, because I think master mode is really cool in Ocarina of Time, where it like resets, like reshuffles the dungeons and makes it harder. So, no matter what, basically, once this game is published, I'll release another update where there's an optional mode where you can do everything like reshuffled. And in that case, I'll probably not have a limit to when you can leave. You can just leave right away. But that's off topic. Starting away from the town, I just think it would be too much extra stuff at the beginning. But the note might work. Anyways, so let's keep going on Micah and Jennifer and see what information Randall would know. So he met Jennifer at Quest City, which is not actually a name anymore. Hold on, where's the city? I removed Quest in the recent update, like design update. I guess Quest would just be where the Plains of War is now. So I guess we can leave it. I need to work on where everything is in the plains, but for now we'll leave it as Quest. In Chaitai Field, they married, and then they came back to Kenlith, and then he left a few later for the Librarians. He went to look at the Forest Library's Skull Dungeon and Water Palace. He wanted to see, like, whether they were maintained, what's going on there, you know, just to see if they needed to do anything. When you hear your grandfather outside and wakes up, and you find the note before you leave to go start the cutscene. What if you hear the grandfather outside? Oh. That might work. So, like, you wake up and it's like your grandfather from outside, and then you're in the room and it's like, oh, what's this note here? No. I don't know if that makes sense, though, because how did he wake up so much sooner than you? Keep that there, like, in the comments, obviously, so I can look at it. I feel like it's more meaningful after he's died. Yeah, I agree. I think you're right, Luna. But it's definitely a good idea. It's a variation. Keep coming with variations, it'll help. So after that, Jennifer gave birth to Randall. Because he's a light sleeper. Fair enough, he is a librarian. He would be trained to be a very light sleeper. And then Jennifer left the baby with Derek and searched for Micah. I think I had a note. Oh yeah. She loved Micah more than she loved the newborn child. She couldn't imagine waiting to see him again. The tragedy is that Micah returned to Kendlith briefly to report to Derek, and Jennifer wasn't there. He left too after that. I don't know what happened to either of them. So that's Baron Fortmore's explanation of, like, his parents, which I was planning to leave, spoiler alert, after Kendlith gets destroyed, which isn't here yet, but it will be destroyed. Maybe I'm spoiling too much. I don't know what you guys think about me saying stuff, but I think that this bit here explains, like, basically the gist of what Randall knows about his parents. Wow, it really is like Fable though. Well, I can still claim originality because I've never played Fable. So then Micah goes back and he's like, hey Derek, my father, and Randall's grandfather, the other libraries don't have any protection. That's really bad. And Jennifer also left. And even though I have a newborn child, I really need to go take care of those libraries. So he goes, and he actually died. He like lives in the spirit in the water palace until he dies. And so when you go to the water palace, you'll meet your own father's spirit, just like you met Darian Fortmore in the or not Darian Fortmore. Yeah, Darian Fortmore in the thing. All you need is a super world-ending sword that can only work with your sibling's blood. That I can comfortably say will not happen in this game because that's not how magic works in this game. Actually, that's not entirely true. Blood does have magical properties, but that's not going to become a relevant factor in this particular game. A super world-ending sword that can only work with your sibling's blood is definitely something that could happen in this universe, but it won't. There's a well-thought-out magic system that I use as reference to all of my games. Only some aspects of them are necessarily used at a time. That sort of thing is definitely possible, but anyways. Did you say Randall knows his parents? I feel like if he'd been raised by his grandfather, he'd only know his grandfather. Right? Well, yeah, he knows only his grandfather because he was literally abandoned as a newborn child. He probably met his dad once when he was like 1. But he still knows he has parents, right? Like, it's not like, I mean, obviously, even if his grandfather's never said anything, he knows that he has actual parents, not just he was born out of his grandfather's skull or something. But he doesn't know much about them. I think he mostly just knows that they left him when he was a kid and his grandfather's taking care of them. Partially because, not that the grandfather doesn't want to share what happened to his parents, but because he can't actually share what happened to Micah because Micah is a librarian. So Randall doesn't know anything about his grandfather or his dad because they're both librarians. Well, for kids, it can be like they don't know anything different. So you can just assume everyone has a grandfather, you know? I think canonically, Randall is 17 years old. So, is there gonna game going to have any waifus? I think I can comfortably say no. I mean, it depends. It depends on what you mean by that question. You might want to elaborate a little more, and I can answer more comfortably. All right, so. So I think one thing I can say for sure, I'm going to delete this line about his parents and the Adrian family, because we're going to work that in somewhere else, either as a note or I just thought of another idea, but I need to let it foster before I talk about it. So I'm going to delete that line. I'm just going to say that information is not going to be presented until after, perhaps, even you've done the whole library thing. Then, I think some of these lines might be able to be combined. This stuff is cheesy. It's fine lore-wise. It doesn't mean anything, but it's pretty cheesy. This one, I guess that's the only thing you can stick in that space. This one's really important. This stuff... You find your uncle or some family friend, and he tells you to find your parents. Yeah, so that's basically my other idea. A little different, because actually, who is it? Baron Fortmore, he's the guy who lives, maybe grandfather got paper from one of the farmers, and so they know he wrote something, and that's how Randall finds out. I feel like only the grandfather would have paper, and the farmers wouldn't. But, Baron Fortmore. Where is? Hold on, I can show you which one he is. Here we go. This guy here. He would know much more about it. He's from the Fortmore family, which, as you might know, is descendant of Darian Fortmore, who runs the library, basically. So my story for him was that when Kindles is destroyed, he actually flees. The grandfather is the only one in the village that can read. That's not necessarily an exaggeration, but I think Baron can read, Randall can read, and Hannah can at least read because she's also a doctor, so she must be able to read. But the other two people that live there, the other three, not really. So my story for Baron is that when Kindles is destroyed, he escapes to West Bank. And actually, the fisherman Barther is Baron's brother. And my plan was that that's when he would tell you this line about his parents. But if we can work this line in at the beginning of the game instead, that sets up the context for, first of all, that your father's name is Micah. And your mother's name, what's her name? Jennifer. So that you have those names when someone mentions them later. And you have to know that your last name is Adrian. Like, when you're thinking about this, is like, if you were just a human, like, you would know your last name is Adrian already. But you're a person playing a game, so you don't know what your last name is until we explain that, too. Also, I realized recently that that's really similar to Samus's last name, but another game I haven't played. Anyways, so I think what we need to do is work this line in with Baron at the beginning of the game instead. So let's see if there's anything here we can simplify. Randall, my magic was only barely enough. So that line is important because it explains that he fought off the skeleton monster with magic. You must find the librarian key. Super Liberoid? I don't know what that means. I'm sure it's a creative pun. You must find the librarian key before that villain comes back. It is within the village. Find and open the library. I believe in you. I cannot tell you sooner, but you are the lost librarian. Alright, so I have two things that I want to change. So Randall, this is fine, because like that's the first thing you say, you're dying. Randall, talk to me, boy. Randall, talk to me, boy. My magic is only barely enough. I think that, let me think about this one. It's important because he fended the skeleton off with magic, but it's kind of not a very creative line. You must find the librarian key. I'm thinking what I want to do. Oh, hey, another thought. Oh, please, Luna, you have good thoughts. You all have good thoughts. Thanks for participating in this conversation. Oh, Librarian and Super Metroid. Got it now. Libroid. Dreams are used quite often as information-giving sources. That is true. I kind of like to avoid it because it's pretty, like, it's done a lot. Like, just as you said, they're used quite often. And actually, I'm thinking about the magic system. I don't even think it fits in consistently with the magic system. However, there is something to note is that you could meet your grandfather as a spirit again. Like, you can meet him as a spirit. That would be consistent. So maybe he could show up in the library. I don't know. But hold on. So you must find the librarian key. I think what I want to do is say instead, there is a key within this village. Oh my gosh, yes. What is that? What is the response to? I can help you draw a slideshow cutscene. Oh, it was response to. Kind of like Undertale's intro. Actually, okay, grandfather is a spirit in Kindle Flight. Oh, there's too many things going on. Wait. Okay, Luna first. That would be pretty cool. I think I want to avoid it only because it would be really cool. Only because it feels like then he didn't actually die, especially when you don't know, like how long. Like you don't know him for very long. If he's just like, oh, I'm a spirit 15 minutes later, it feels like it lacks impact that he died the first time. On the other hand, meeting your father as a spirit and your mother in a similar way later, like after you've been searching for them for an hour or 2 hours, I mean, it kind of depends. It's an open world game. I think that one has more impact. I also don't know if it's actually possible to become a spirit after he died from that method. I'll have to think about that. And if you can, then I don't know why he didn't become a spirit, so that's another question. But it's like he got a connection for Kindle, so it makes him be a spirit in that library. That's true. I think that generally, though, the way it worked for the original librarians, like Darian Fortmore, is that they voluntarily died like from old age at that point, and they used a spell to create the spirit. You have to be, so they're like the wraiths. They have to have very intentional thoughts as they die to become a spirit, which isn't really easy to do if you're being attacked. But it is true. So that could be possible. Let's keep that on the list too. Okay, and then in response to Teoyo, I was actually thinking about doing some kind of intro to give the more broad story about Rosera, because like that's another thing. Like you don't even know that the place you live in is called Rosera as a broad world. And the introduction that I love the most out of any game ever is the Secret of Mana introduction, where it's like time flows like a river, but history repeats at the end, with just with white text on the black background. So if I can write something for that, you're welcome to help me make something, because that introduction, building an introduction like that would probably help a lot with building the world as a whole. Okay, so I think that what I want to do, instead of you must find the librarian key before that villain comes back, is just explain there is a key within this village. And actually, let's say, now listen, this is very important. There is a key hidden within this village. How about finding the bodies and journals of your parents in one of the dungeons libraries you eventually go to? Brilliant idea, Teoyo. That one I'm going to leave a secret for now. Maybe it'll be mentioned later. But something like that will happen, don't worry. The journals, if one of the farmers is like, wait, no, I'm confused. One of the farmers is like, I heard a rumor sort of thing, but you are. Fades to white, black text fades in, last librarian. Yeah, do like the title card. Hold on, where's the title card? Here, we can just run the game. I think this is the title card Luna made. There's another one Jacob made. I can't, actually, maybe I'm using Jacob's. No, I can't remember which one is which. Okay, this one is Jacob's, but Luna has a cool title card too. Just fade in with that, and then like buy Cloaked Games and all these other people who helped out. That's a pretty good idea. I'll put that on my notes because I'm going to do the cutscene stuff later, but hold on. Cutscene notes. Maybe just general notes because I'm sure I'll have other things to add. Notes. Fade out.
I got a note for you. Exploding soccer balls. Put that down in your notes.
Manny, not about the exploding soccer balls again. Alright. Luna says I should try animating more. Can't give comments on that because I don't animate. My magic was only barely enough. Now listen, this is very important. There is a key hidden within a village. You must find it. And you know what? I'm not going to say my magic was only barely enough. I'm going to say my magic has failed me. I think that's more impactful. Oh man, I like this so much better already. We can cut this. Use it. I could not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. Alright, how do you all feel about this set of sentences? By the way, can you see the text on the stream? It's hard, like I can't see. I wonder if there's a chance you could do a special Randall holding grandfather sprite. At least have Randall come closer to him. Yeah, I would do that as soon as I have sprites. Actually, I think Teo is working on some right now, which is cool. Maybe we'll get around to one of those. So, okay, can you guys see this, or should I make the text bigger? And then, if you can see it, tell me what you think of these 3 sentences at the end. I think I can, hold on, what is the... Let's just make the font a little bit bigger for today. Size 12? No, that made it smaller. That, wait, what? Why is the... What on earth? That looks super weird. You see this? It's like normal size, but then tiny parentheses? Okay. Oh, these are... Text looks fine to me, sentences seem fine. Okay, I'll leave it for now, if you can both see it. And then Luna says, I recommend putting ellipses after my magic has failed me, just because having a period there makes it kind of choppy to me. Oh yeah, you're right. Here we go. That's better. And I think I'm not gonna... I think I want to make this more impactful too by saying I did not tell you sooner instead of I could not. Like, more like he blames himself for it too. Casual person dying in the background. Yeah, I live on a dorm floor. There's a lot of people dying in the background. Alright, so that was pretty productive, I gotta say. This one feels a little cheesy. I'm gonna think about this for like 2 more minutes, but if I can't think of anything, we'll move on to the next cutscene. Old man, give me the librarian key. I mean, that's consistent with last character. He's not very respectful to old people. Or anybody, really. Ooh, an apology would make it more self-blaming. That is brilliant. I'm sorry I did not tell you sooner. How's that? Do I need the comma there or not? I can't tell. Having the last librarian be its own box would make it more dramatic. That is true. Just like fish from the fish merchant. Regret? Oh, I see. You're offering the word from earlier. Elder text speed 0. Let's make it. That's fine. Depends on if you want to be like, I'm sorry I did not, or I'm sorry I did not. Okay, so read them out loud and see. I'm sorry I did not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. And then, I'm sorry I did not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. No, it's like self-flagatory or something. I know it's misspelled. Flagatory? Okay. I like the comma. Thanks, Luna. That was a good way to decide that. Alright. And then... will not touch evil hands. Librarian's secrets are not for your eyes. Your defiance is remarkable. Fool, you're powerless to stop me. I'm okay with this one, actually. I'll think about it. If anyone has suggestions for those first couple lines, I welcome it. But I think I'm okay with this. This is pretty good. Okay, so let's go look at the next cutscene. This one's gonna be way harder. Fool! Oh, you're right. Fool. Okay, maybe not all caps, but I like that better. No worries, Luna. I'm not a great speller either. Speller. Okay, that definitely helped. He's a little more assertive than just, fool, you're powerless to stop me, like he's whispering or something, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, his casual, creepy sentence is this first one, your defiance is remarkable, and then fool, your powerless to stop me. Luna says it feels a little off. You're probably right, to be honest. We need Dirk here, he would know for sure, right? Like it should either be your defiance is remarkable or a fool. You're right, it does feel like they're two different trains of thought. An evil villain with a sore throat. Fool. Yeah, I think you're right, Luna. So I like your defiance is remarkable better. So let's just remove the fool. Your defiance is remarkable. You're powerless to stop me. That still feels like two thoughts. It made it better, but... add a however or something like that. Like, your defiance is remarkable, but you're powerless to stop me. Or your defiance is remarkable, however, you're powerless to stop me. Or even, unfortunately... That helps a little bit. I think you're right about the transition, or at least those two sentences not making sense quite right. Unfortunately for you, that feels like it's just too long at that point. But you're right, it makes more sense if you add for you. Otherwise it's like, oh, you're powerless to stop me, sorry. That's true. Never fiend. That key will not touch evil hands. Librarian secrets are not for guys. Your defiance is remarkable. Unfortunately for you, you're powerless to stop me. I gotta study, so I'll be leaving. Good luck with the writing. See you later, Teyoyo. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with your writing. Oh, wait. Good luck with studying. I read your sentence instead of responding to your sentence. Have fun, too. Studying can be fun sometimes. How about an ellipse after remarkable? I mean, for that matter, we could put them on the same side. May the knowledge be with you. We could put them on the same sentence, the same box. Actually, let's try this. Let's just, we didn't do this other one. Fool. I like that your defiance is remarkable because it sounds interesting, but this might be more. How fancy does the Skeleton Lord speak? See, that's a good question, and it's really hard for me to decide. He is an emperor, and he is well educated, and skillful in magic, so he's not like a brute kind of thing. I think he would speak pretty fancy, but he's also like, he's pretty brutal. Like, he's just gonna like kill you. So I don't know how much time he wants to spend like chatting, like, you know, bantering. He's not the sort of villain who's gonna banter. He just, except the thing is, he does, right? When you fight him at the Battle of Crystals. Actually, you know what? Let's go do that. Imbecile rather than fool. Imbecile. I do like that word. I'm very fond of that word, not gonna lie.
Of imbecile?
Yeah, imbecile. It's like one of my favorite insults. Other than, what, you egg? What? You egg? You should put inconceivable somewhere. Oh, that's true. Not here, but that's a joke. Hold on. I have a spot in my Google Documents specifically for things that I want to add eventually, but are kind of silly. Where is, oh, here, my maybe ideas list. Here we go. Inconceivable. There we go. Definitely a worthwhile reference. You inconceivable imbecilic fool. Not bad, not bad. Alright. I think you're right about imbecile being a better word. I think it flows better with fool, because imbecile's imbecile. 3 syllables. Let me go check something. Let's go try to remember what he says at Deep City. Skeleton Lord. Never go up against a skeleton when death is on the line. That's a good question. He doesn't acknowledge himself as a skeleton necessarily, though. The Skeleton Lord is kind of like a code name for him. I don't think that's ever going to like show up in the game necessarily. Just add every synonym for that word idiot in one sentence. Now I'm curious. We're going to have to look all the words up in a second. So let's go see... oops. Oh yeah. Teleport. We're going to go to Deep City. We're going to... Whoa, that's an interesting... That's an interesting way. Okay, we're going to skip to the conversation with Emperor and then what he says at the beginning of the battle. I liked it, Randall Breeze now. Thank you. I like it too. It adds just a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a walking animation and a sword swinging animation before next update. That will be fun. Okay, better work. Okay, so that was... So, well boy, I'm Somasaur the Ephraim. We're talking to the Somasaur. This is the esteemed Emperor of Kytha visiting our humble city to aid in some of our recent policies. Honestly, don't quite like his mouth. He looks like a fish. Nice animation for the guards. Technically, there's no animation. They just move and face the right direction. But it is a step up from some of the other stuff in the game. About him looking like a fish, yes. If we're not careful, the fish merchant's going to put him on a shelf. Pardon the sudden screening, we are dealing with a disturbing influx of refugees as of late. I think the Somasaur is one of the better written characters, honestly. He's very... I guess he's not, because I don't think anyone would actually sound like this, but it's kind of a manifestation of some of my most sardonic thought processes. At any rate, surely you understand that you need to... okay. You killed my grandfather! Pardon me, I haven't killed anyone, much less I left his grandfather. I haven't read these for a while. Okay. I think, James, that he refers to me. Okay. You! It was you! The skeleton creature! Okay, so I just had an insight about the Emperor Last's mentality in this place. James. Yeah, he's not very... He's very disrespectful of the title. Oh my... Okay, there we go. Glad you like it. So the reason that the Emperor talks like this is to make him sing better than other people. That's his goal. Like, he will just slay you if he thinks that's what he needs to do. But when someone else is being, if he has the opportunity to make someone else look like an idiot by sounding more intelligent than them, then he will do that. And that's what he's doing here. And that's also why he does that casual name drop. Indeed, I recognize this boy. You were there at Kenlith, were you not? Yes, fiend. No, I'm gonna lie to him. Definitely not. Don't lie to me, idiot. Don't lie to me, imbecile. Don't lie to me. Hold on. What did you write up there? Inconceivable, imbecilic fool. Calling him boy. Yep. You picked up your grandfather's sword and chose the mantle of a librarian. I'm not worried. However, you have hardly any training. To kill you now would be a waste of energy. Please, welcome to Deep City. I hope you enjoy your time here, but if you insist on challenging me, then I suggest you come to the Sacred Grove. That's not really proper. The Sacred Grove is for leaders. You're myself and your imperial honor only. And this is the effect of the Emperor stepping on the Somosaur's toes. I would suggest that in this matter you have very little authority about your sacred places. At any rate, he will not come if he is intelligent. Then again, thus far, he has not demonstrated intelligence. I feel like in this section... Yeah. This section has like too much stuff. I just put it in because it was like, oh, it'd be cool if he said that. Oh, it'd be cool if he said that. And then he said like way more than he needs to and he's talking too much. But we'll worry about that in a bit. This will probably be the third cutscene we do, if we have time. What did I start? I started at 6, right? Alright. I can go to like 10 or 9. We'll see. Alright. Make the Emperor sound more narcissistic and arrogant. Should put quotation marks with sacred spaces to make it obvious he's kind of making fun of them. Okay, hold those thoughts. We're gonna get to this cutscene in a bit. I wanted to just check to see how I portrayed him here so that we can make it more consistent at the beginning of the game. You don't understand what you face, boy. You carry the sword that he... Okay, so here's actually one thing that I feel is pretty weak. I'm trying to figure out why he set up this battle. And I think the most insight I have is from the book series called The Beyonders by Brandon Mull. And the villain in that game... Oh, actually, no, I do have a really good lore reason for this. Ooh, hold on a second. Where did I put the... Hold on, let me open the story document.
Oh my god!
He wants to see how strong he actually is, so that's part of it.
No way! Ooh.
He has a lot of disdain for the librarians. And that's partially reflected. I can probably enhance that a little bit. The spirits made me. Yeah, that line might be pulled out in the later versions. I put it into the Kickstarter demo because I thought it was funny. But so part of it, I think the big part is fourth option because I can. I mean, yeah, pretty much. He has a lot of disdain for the librarians. They destroyed him, and they did it in a way that he thinks is unconventional, unworthy. Like, basically, they just united all the people, and then, and they were able to fight him off by luck. Basically, that's what happened in his eyes, at least. And so I think it's his disdain for the librarians and his certainty that Randall poses no threat to him that he allows this battle to happen. And at least his first battle, he's then surprised when Randall manages to beat him. I would fight him now, but I literally can't because I don't have the boomerang. So in his anger there, he then demonstrates his true power by destroying Randall instantly, but keeping him alive out of spite because he wants to prove to Randall that he's no threat to him. Sarcastic. That sweet game. There's a lot of good options here, guys. You killed my grandfather. One thing I want to keep through, and this is not really related to this conversation, is that there's 2 reasons that you might be fighting him. The spirits made me is not a valid reason. The first one is just revenge for your grandfather. And then the other way you might interpret it is that you're doing it to protect the world of Rosera from his tyrannical government, that he might take over everything. So, I mean, those are the 2 options I'm going to try to provide a lot. In this case, it's to defend the Striders, which is what I would say, but I'm not particularly attached to that particular grandfather, so fair enough. If you want to get involved in the petty squabbles and mortals, talk to the Ephron. No. Don't you see, you cannot defeat me. I cannot die. I've never died. Your Librarian order is dead now. That actually is a terrible sentence, but this is kind of his whole idea. He's like trying to prove to Randall, as his last, maybe even somewhat valid opponent, that oh! No. Okay, well, to prove to Randall that his last... Oh my gosh, I'm really embarrassed now. I actually forgot the real reason that he keeps him alive, but that's something else. Anyway, so part of it is he wants to prove to Randall that he's really strong. I will not give up. Battle then, prove it. Well, I'm gonna die now. But don't kill me. Don't kill me. I don't even... Now you know how the game is played, but you need magic to defeat me. Okay, so we can't survive this wave, so let's go back. Okay, so there's actually a few other reasons related to how magic works, and that relate to why you kept him alive. But I guess the point is, there's a few things characteristic to Last, which is he is convinced that the he's very derisive towards the librarians. He thinks they are literally useless and powerless and could never ever fight him. So I think that's something we should be able to work into this sentence here. That he, I mean, I guess in a way, you're powerless to stop me, but maybe a line about the Librarian Order specifically. Battle then to prove it. Teleports up through trees. Yes. I should probably make that teleportation instantaneous, like, or a fade out or something, instead of you can see the camera panning up. That's kind of weird. So he thinks the librarians are useless, and he kind of wants, it would be to him a great victory if Randall surrendered to him as opposed to being defeated, right? Your and the Librarian Order. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little more elegantly. So it would be a great victory to him if Randall surrendered to him, or the Librarian Order surrendered to him, because that would mean he truly defeated them. Whereas if he kills Randall, Randall might become a martyr, or, you know, the Librarian's Order is always going to be known as the order that defended against Last. When he finally takes over everything and everyone's, you know, chafing under his rule, they're going to look back and be like, oh, the Librarian Order, they were going to serve us. And it's even possible that the Librarian Order might be refounded by the people in Rosera after Last takes over because of the example they set. But if Randall's like, you know what, you're too strong, I'm going to surrender, then the Librarian Order loses all credibility. They've abandoned society. Their whole purpose is to defend them from evil people, right? And if Randall's like, that was too hard, I just can't do it, or the spirits just told me not to do it, then Last really wins that battle. And so he's really trying to demoralize you throughout the whole game. But he has a second nefarious purpose. Oh, replace the door with the Librarian Order. Well, the thing too is that the grandfather at the moment is the only librarian left, other than Randall, who then inherits his role. Sacrifice? 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 What? Who are we sacrificing? So the other reason that he wants Randall alive is We're sacrificing Randall? Oh. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, I see. Your theory is that Last wants to sacrifice Randall. Oh. Well, I'll tell you now what he wants to do. Actually, Luna guessed this a little while ago about there being a 9th spell. It's not exactly that, but it's kind of related to that concept. So the way magic works is that, and here, hold on, I can show you the story document. We'll pop that over here. Why is my homework on this still up? Hold on. You can just go over here. There we go. To appease the volcano gods. There are not volcano. Well, there is kind of a volcano god. but that's not why. Shark bait! Shark bait! Oh ha ha! So the way magic works, like, you know, I'll skip the super meta stuff. That's not really related to the story at all. But he goes to a place in the Obsidian Mountains, which you can see is up here on the mountain. Like, now it's the fortress, but that was the mountains before. And then he learns how to make spells. And the way you make spells is you use parts of your soul. You can organize it into things that can operate beyond just normal, like, daily use of a soul. So he makes 8 of them. Because that's the most stable number. If you have 8, then it's not going to collapse. That's a really good set of numbers to use. And he gets a book, like Skyrim Soul Crystals. I don't know. It sounds similar, probably. So he gets this. He returns from the well with this black book that tells about the arcane knowledge of chaos, that tells him how to craft spells out of souls. The byproduct of this is actually function like a Horcrux, which is actually part of what explains where the wraiths come from, where it's like part of their soul is left embedded in something that they really cared about, or an ideal that they really cared about. But the point is, he's able to return because of those 8 soul spells which are left still, right? They didn't destroy the spells, they put them into libraries, and that's how he was able to return. But his power is still all separated, he can't access it. So the reason he wants Randall alive is Randall has the Librarian key. Randall can defend himself because he's got the sword and the boomerang and the key and revelation. So his goal is to basically allow Randall to collect the spells, and then he'll collect them at the end of the game and use them to fight you back. So, I mean, this is huge spoilers, but the more spells you collect, the more powerful he becomes in the final boss, is my goal. So if you fight him after only getting 4 spells, which is the minimum number you'll be able to get, he'll be easier than if you get all 8. Unless you get all 8, and then you get the 9th spell, which is actually created by the Librarians. They didn't actually ever learn how to make spells, but the process of organizing your soul to craft a spell is sometimes done subconsciously. Like Floey being like, you gathered everyone here, good job. Once again, I'll take your word for that. So some spells are actually crafted subconsciously by just caring about things like, now I can take all the souls, pretty much. Like Pathfinder in the game is actually a spell item. It's a magical enchanted item created subconsciously by Catherine Soar, who, with a desire to lead her people to safely, somehow magically was able to carve tunnels through solid stone. And that spell was left attached to her dagger. And then you can now use it later as part of Catherine's soul, actually, as something. And that dagger could be used to maybe summon her spirit or something, but that's much more complicated magic, which only Last really knows how to do, so it doesn't help. The Librarian Diary is another magical item. That one's a little less defined. I'm thinking about that one. There's a few others. There's something called the Shard of Scimitar, which isn't in the game yet, but that's a magical item. So the whole thing is that it's built out of souls, and so the Librarian Order coming together by documenting what they believed and what they were doing, they actually inadvertently crafted a 9th spell book. And by there being now 9 spells attached to this person, destabilized the magic system and was what allowed them to win basically by chance. So that Librarian Diary that you get is eventually going to become the 9th spell. So wouldn't the Librarian Key hold Grandpa's soul then? Well, the Librarian, well, he doesn't have it on him when he dies. So if anything, maybe the sword would. But the process which would cause a piece of your soul to go into an object requires prolonged efforts to do a specific task, basically. So Catherine, in her efforts to free her people, was able to create the Pathfinder blade. Let me write that down, though. It's something that perhaps once you realize that the soul thing works, the sword might have your grandpa's soul. But once again, it's also a voluntary thing, and it's hard to do if you're under attack. Like, it wouldn't happen suddenly, necessarily. And the Librarian sword has been passed down through generations, so I don't know if there's necessarily room left in there for his soul. So, I don't know. It's kind of a vague thing, but that's a good point. I don't know exactly quite yet what the rules are for when a soul might form a spell. The way Last does it is he has rules and like methods to do it consistently, right? But other people, it kind of happens randomly because they don't know those methods. So I think that you wouldn't really be able to intentionally craft a spell unless you knew what Last knew. And the thing about Last's method is because they come from chaos, they don't necessarily work out well for him. But soul magic, grandfather, and sword. I'm gonna write that down. And sword. Okay. But if you're under attack and your big thing is you need to protect the only remaining family, wouldn't that be enough? Probably. It's like Harry Potter. How Harry has the blessing from his mother because she sacrificed herself to protect him. That probably would work in this universe. So maybe that explains, like, yeah, the scar. That's something to think about for sure. The power of reading compels you. I mean, I do very much believe in this, the power of written word. Ooh, here's a line. Back to what we were working on earlier, so we can go to another cutscene. The last of your order will fall today. How does that feel? Feedback, if anything. Hey Manny, can you pass me a paper towel?
Yes.
Thank you.
How many? One or two?
Just one. Thanks.
I just got a card that's worth 1.2 million coins.
My sister commissioned an artist to make a zombie hunting team based on our family, and my own zombie hunter persona draws in a journal, and the drawings come to life and attack the zombies. And also, no, not his large fries. What? I want some large fries. Luna, if you haven't read The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson, you should read it and maybe borrow it from me if you want. It's about magicians who battle using chalk drawings, including you can draw like creatures in chalk and they become alive and attack things. It's super cool. I've heard you talk about it a lot. Yeah, it's one of my favorite books. So the last of your order will fall today. I think I like that because it's kind of vague, because you don't necessarily know like the librarian order concept necessarily, but this gives him more of a concept. I wouldn't mind borrowing it, but isn't it a series? Well, it will be a series, but there's only one book published so far. A book version of Chalk Zone. Honestly, I have no idea. But the first book on its own is a complete story. It has some questions, but it's it has you know, the beginning, ending, and it's just like a little bit of mystery at the end. It's fine. Some of the other books, like the, oh my gosh, his recent ones, the Stormlight Archives, which actually my game has a lot of references to that are kind of subtle, but they're in there. Chalk Zone was an old 90s Nickelodeon TV show. The Stormlight Archives, like, you read, there's like 5 parts, they're super long. You get to the 5th part, you finish it, there's like this epic climax, you're like, oh, feels so satisfying. And you read a little bit more, and there's like a 5-chapter epilogue, and the epilogue is just like, every other paragraph is a cliffhanger. But that's not the case in this book. The Arithmetist is not a big cliffhanger. There's like a little bit of like, oh, I guess there's more to learn, but it's not too bad. So I'll loan it to you sometime. I think you would like it. Yeah, so the last of your order of all day, I think that ties it together nicely, I think. Imbecile, maybe we'll switch this to fool. I think while he's more likely to say the word imbecile, I think fool is just easier to read. So I'll put that as a note for now. And then AFK, okay. So let's go. Let's just watch the cutscene, and I'll read it all one more time in the game to see how it fits together, and then we will move on to the second cutscene, which is the meeting with Darian Fortmore in the library. And I'm drinking more water, hold on. Also, I just realized there's a timer in the top that tells me how long I've been streaming, which is really helpful. Okay. So, oh, wait, we need a new game. New game. New save file. Zzz. Rawr. Randall, stay in the house. Hey man, I'm not staying in the house, but I want these gems first. Oh. They're stuck behind the door. Well, that's great. Old man, give me the library key. Never fiend, that key will not touch evil hands. Librarian's secrets are not for your eyes. Imbecile, you're powerless to stop me. The last of your order will fall today. Will there be a nuts goner in the game? That I can honestly say no. Sorry, man. I forgot about that. The last of your order will fall today. No, it cannot be. It's kind of hard to do with 8-bit pixel art. Grandfather! Randall, my magic has failed me. Now listen, this is very important. There's a key hidden within this village. You must find it. Use it. I'm sorry I did not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. Ethan will be so upset. I know. He'll be very sad. Press select start once you equip. Okay, so that part needs work. Let's think about that in a bit. But okay, so now we can go. We go here. We're like, oh, what's this? The door shall only open a secret of the knowledge and the bearer of the librarian key. So I was like, oh, we need this key to get through this door. Ooh, let's go find the key. How do I get past this? Let me use my sword and chop down the bushes. Oh no, there's a slime. If I walk into it, it hurts me. That's sad. Let me kill it. Ooh, that was really efficient. Brick's alive! Hello, sir. Or, I guess, person. More slimes. Alright, actually we don't need to go this way. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm fond of those sound effects. I made that with Play-Doh. Looks cool, I'm making a survival game. Cool. I used to work on a survival game. That's one of my favorite genres, actually. They're really fun. I made those sound effects for the slimes. I took Play-Doh, I rolled it up, and then I slapped it against my hand. And I added a few effects. I'm pretty fond of that one. Alright, so we read this. Here lies Darian Fortmore, founder of the Librarian Order. If you seek entrance, strike now the blade that marks you as one of our own. This is pretty clear. Hit it with a sword. That is awkward timing. Okay. Librarian, I grant you the Librarian key. Do not let this fall into evil hands. Some secrets hold power that is best left uncovered. Beware, Darian Fortmore. Okay, I think this is consistent. They don't want you to open the library because there's magic in there, and magic is dangerous. It's pretty well established. That's a little bit about opening items. I don't... You know what I think I should do instead? This will be hard to do, and we'll do this later, but, wait, are the... Hold on a second. Are the origin points for the flowers not aligned properly? Like, look at this. Where did I put these? No, this one's fine. This one's not, though. No, I guess that one is fine. It could be fine. Well, no, if they were off-centered, some of them would, like, overlap with walls. So I guess they're just oddly placed. Alright, so that's consistent. Let's go into the library now. Oh, what I was thinking was maybe for pressing items instead, what we do is we highlight. I can't show it with my mouse because the mouse cursor is gone, but up at the top it says inventory select start. If we highlight that and make it like pulsing, then you see, oh, I have to press that. And like it shows like a message underneath, like equip the librarian key, and then it just shows it that way. And then when you do it, it goes away, and then it points to the librarian key because that's always the same slot. And then you know to move the cursor, and when you hover over it, I'm going to add something that like shows the buttons that you can equip it to. So that can explain the whole equipping thing. Maybe we can do that for the sword as well. Do I need to do it twice? That's the thing. Well, you need to equip, I have to explain to equip the librarian key, because some people at the beginning I noticed had trouble because they thought that because it was in the inventory they should be able to open the door, which is totally valid. The way it's done is a little odd, though it has reasons for it. So that's why you need to explain it separately to equip the key so that you know you have to use it that way. And now when you're putting here, you can do that. What's the player character's name? His name is Randall. Spelled R-A-N-D-E-L because I don't like standardized spellings of the name. Alright, so let's save, and now we're going to go check this cutscene. This one has some splits, so we'll only do it once, but... Ah, Randall... is he invisible? Hey guys, the ghost is actually invisible this time. My name is Darian Fortmore. Like, literally, where did he go? There's supposed to be a ghost sprite. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know where he went. Anyways, my name is Darian Fortmore. I have not been awakened since your grandfather entered many years ago. I hope you have a good reason for unsealing this place. This is probably fair. So the librarians went in. They were like, okay, we're gonna die. We're gonna put our spirits into the libraries, and then we can act as like a sort of system of defense and guardianship. If they're not worthy of going in, then we can shut down the library and not let them in. Now, of course, many of those spirits faded after a long time, so most of the libraries you go to won't have a spirit. This one does, because Darian is unusually loyal. So then, what are you? Yes, I do. Let's say yes, I do. A skeleton monster killed my grandfather. Just before he died, he told me to find the key to this place. That's not necessarily totally true anymore, so we'll address that, because we changed the beginning sentences. Yeah, he's just invisible. I don't know what's going on. Ah, that is not good. You describe an agent of the undead. They are creatures of chaos. So this is a necessary diversion. I like the surprise of finding out he's actually the original emperor. This is about to get crazy, though. And without full training, Rendell, I'm sorry, you've been thrust into a role you're not prepared to manage. Okay. Now that your grandfather has fallen, you are a librarian and protector of the ancient knowledge and magic. That's, yeah, okay. You must enter the library. Within, you will find a powerful spell. You will need your own magic to face this evil, as is your role as a librarian. Yeah, so this was all, like, changes I did recently, well, before the Kickstarter update, to try to, like, show that you're a librarian more conclusively than before. But it feels a little weak in some ways. I'll prepare you as much as I can in this time. That's fine. Let's keep going a little bit. I'm gonna read. You sound so disinterested in the lore of your game. Oh, this is me. That's my reaction to the quality of the writing, not the lore specifically. I do like the lore of my game. I'm just trying to decide, like, does the writing fit in with the lore? Is it, like, well done? Sometimes it's like, not great. You found the librarian. See, now here's Randall. What? Or the Darien Fortmore. Why is the ghost invisible in the first cutscene? That's super weird. You found the librarian boomerang. Strange runes decorate the edges. Press select and start and equip. There's, yeah, once again, the equip thing. We can probably at this point, if we do the equip thing I mentioned from before, we can skip that. We could put like a, so Breath of the Wild has like the, actually a lot of the inventory stuff I'm taking from Breath of the Wild has like when you get a new item, it shows like up at the top plus like obtained whatever, so it shows it went into the inventory. So maybe I'll add something like that. The boomerang can hurt enemies from a distance. Duh. Okay, that might need to be rephrased. This is the librarian boomerang. Actually, I've had a lot of people joking about how the librarian boomerang, the librarian sword, the librarian key. I'm thinking, and I wouldn't mind feedback on this, if we should maybe make the names a little more unique. It is an ancient powerful weapon, same material as a librarian sword. So another weird thing that's awkward about this, awkward, is that you like just got the sword, he comes and he tells you you're looking for a spell, and then the first thing you get is a boomerang, not a spell. Oh, but this is actually going to be adjusted a lot. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, well, we need to do that. So the way it's working now, originally my plan was, like before Kickstarter, was we were going to have the weapons would be hidden in certain libraries. So Arcane Ruins and Water Palace each had a weapon. But because I'm trying to make it more like open world where you can definitely get the items that you need, the librarian sword, pencil. Ooh, you're right. Librarian pencil. The boomerang could be like a what opposite of fives do you throw? Staplers? A staple gun? No, the bow is a staple gun. The boomerang is like a paperclip, right? You bent it into that shape and then you threw it at someone to annoy them in class. Anyway, so paperweight, yeah. So the now instead what you do is once you've defeated one library, you can come back and Darien will give you access to will give you access to one other weapon. So this library here, Kenlith Library, is like a weapons store building where they kept all the ancient weapons hidden here because it was the safest library, which is also shown by the fact that it's the last place that Last was able to reach because it's so far away from the Obsidian Fortress. Sealed here a long time ago to keep it from falling into evil hands. So we actually need to explain that this is a weapons base. So we can do a little bit of level design in a bit. It's been instrumental in defeating the undead. I grant you permission to take this weapon. However, this is not our primary. You must find that. Okay. Now you're here. Okay, the whole cutscene is weird and broken. I don't know what's going on. And he's on the wrong layer, too. Well, that's great. Okay, that's all fine, though. So let's go. Kenlith Library entrance. So I kind of want to make this.
I also got Neymar.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Put Hazard in like center mid, and then put Neymar out left.
And then like brings him down.
Yeah.
Hazard right there.
Okay, so oh, that's why the instances layer is invisible. That's what happened to him. That's why he was invisible. That's fine. So now what we actually I want to do is I want to have this aspect of him unlocking each section as you go.
I don't have to play the draft right now. I just break.
Oh, you can. Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'll just go pee.
Can I go one more? Is this even? 1, 2, 3. This would be a square. That is not a square. What did I do? Oh, here we go. Is that a square? Not that it's a square, but that this shape here forms a square. That's fine. Let's make this a little taller. I'm gonna make the whole room a little wider. Okay, so this is the 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not right. This should be like that. Okay, so we're making just kind of a square room because there's gonna be the entrance, and then there's 3 exits because there's 3 additional weapons that you can obtain. And we just need to make this big enough. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's too big. That, okay. So we can do this, just make the square first. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm tapping the screen, you can't see, but okay, that's the right rectangle, and then here we can put these in the middle. Is that right? Nope. Is that right? Okay, I think so. Okay, so then my idea is we can, well, we should finish this wall first. That's easy.
Oh, sure.
Oops.
I got distracted. It's alright. I can for sure beat this guy. I just took close like 2 times back to back. Already? Yeah.
Okay, so we're just cleaning up this level space, and then we can. Alright. So these are the 4 directions you would go. I can add the doors on, I guess. Rotate. Rotate. Why are they? Oh gosh, crazy. Okay, so we can put this one.
Really?
Move this one down to here.
I don't like the way he like plays the game. I think he's a good player.
Just not respectful.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think he's respectful.
Okay.
Just how disrespectful they're being. He flops all the time.
Did you see the floppers in Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a new space. This is more like, it's like central. So you come down and then there's 3 wings to it. The pin is mightier than the sword, except when the sword is a pin. Yes, just like oh gosh, Percy Jackson.
He's one of the best players out
I love how like super late in that series he realizes he can actually use his sword as a pin instead of just a sword. It's so dumb, but
What happens if you lose a draft match?
the room looks good, by the way. Thanks. Glad I have some verification that I didn't like mess it up. It has to be symmetrical or all.
Take your players left.
I've done it wrong. Alright, so now we can do...
You enter for 15,000 coins. And then you play 4 games.
Let's just make this a bigger grid.
Oh, it doesn't work.
I feel like my mouse sensitivity is just like not quite right.
Play 4 games,
Or like I have trouble clicking on really tiny things.
You get like better pack rewards. Better players to make it for your actual team.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, let's just do this. There we go.
Game, you don't continue, you get like shitty rewards. You basically want to win the whole thing to get the best pack rewards.
Yeah, so the first game.
So then this way is going to be the sword, right? Or the boomerang. And that one basically you are required to do. You know, this is not even centered. Hold on. This is easy to fix though. We can do this. Tiles walls. Whoop.
I have a Spanish too.
X. There we go. There we go. So this is the entrance. You come down here. This goes to the boomerang room, and that's the one he gives you by default. And then maybe as you're leaving, he'll talk to you again and tell you that you can come back, and one of these paths will lead to the bow, and one of these will lead to the bombs. And at that point, you can choose between the two that you would like to go to. And then the final time, you get the last one.
Well, I actually already have enough.
And then...
I'm deciding whether Suarez or Griezmann.
I just Suarez.
Suarez?
Griezmann's fast, but he's not fast player.
We can put these. So then, I guess what he needs to say, he needs to talk about... Yeah, we'll go look at what he says again. But he has to explain that this is the weapons room. This can go here. Kyle's floor.
It's just like
Not locked. There we go.
Yeah.
And then we can take our... There we go.
Is that not a foul?
I have no idea.
Ah!
You should make it so you can do like no rules on DMC and stuff.
That would be pretty cool.
There we go.
There's like different tournaments.
And then the terrain layer. Well, that's awkward, but I'm gonna add that layer. Okay, so this is now all reshaped. This one is going to be instances control. This needs to be right in the center. Variables. Huh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, cutscene Darien is what's actually being done here. Okay. I'm moving Darien to the other layer. Cutscene Darien. And here we can look at the text. And it should be 800, 800 because that's the center of the room now that I resized it. Alright, so here he says, Randall Adrian. So, this is an interesting line. It implies that he knows who you are, which is interesting. That's probably okay. I think he would know who you are. And I'll note, it's actually another excuse to work in the fact that your last name is Adrian, which is one of those facts that we were trying to make sure was clear. That's a little hard to work in. So the fact that he refers to you by your last name is really nice. My name is Darien Fortmore. I have not been awakened since your grandfather entered many, many years ago. That one is fine. Well, he has to introduce himself. I'm Darien Fortner. I'm back, but eating, so won't type too much. Enjoy your food, Luna. I've not been awakened since your grandfather entered many years ago. So what I like to do is make sure with every single line, as much as possible, you're serving two purposes at once. You're first of all doing character development. That's easy to do. Basically anything a character says develops their character if it's in a distinct style and it's not like sounds exactly the same as what Randall says or what exactly the same as someone else says, like the fish merchant is a good example. But the second thing is it needs to provide useful information to the player. So I guess I've not been awakened since your grandfather entered you many years ago. that tells the player that the libraries aren't opened very often, and that his grandfather entered them before. And I hope you have a good reason for unsealing this place. Ugh. This whole thing feels not quite right. Let's try to define what we need to explain to the player. Here's a bit of space for writing. So, Randall Adrian is a librarian. The librarians are, I'm just going to put that for now. I have information for that, but I'm not going to write it all out here. Randall needs magic. Randall needs boomerang, and by the way, this is a weapons storage.
You're sucky. Yeah, that's what it's easy. I couldn't think of one.
Oh, then there's one more thing that's actually much easier than the other things. Darian is the undead spirit of someone who made the library. That line, that bit is easy, right? Like, people are pretty acceptable to the, oh, there's an undead guardian of the land.
Wait, what? I don't know.
I gotta go. 3 hours in the future from you. Hope you have a good stream. I like the game. Thank you. Have a great time. Sleeping, I guess, is what you're doing now. Thanks for stopping by. It was really fun. Hopefully, in the future, I'm going to be doing the streams earlier in the day. It just didn't work out today, so maybe in the future you'll be able to hang out for longer. I think that is a better time because it is pretty late here, and that means it's even later for everyone else. So, but anyways, like I said, thanks for stopping by. Sleep well. We'll probably only go for like 20 more minutes because it is pretty late and I'm pretty tired and I have a little bit of homework I should probably do. So, Darian is undead spirit, someone who made the library. The librarians are Randall needs magic, Randall needs the boomerang, and this is weapons storage facility. That's what does Darian Fortmore know? In that, does he know Randall is or isn't a librarian yet? Does he know that his grandfather died? Does he know that anyone attacked? How do I make sure that Darian is an interesting character? Because right now he's like super boring, not gonna lie. Like, you go, you talk to him, he just gives you exposition, and then you leave, and you never ever return. Well, that will be helped a lot because obviously, you know, now you're actually going to return to get the other weapons. But still, and then how much does he know, like, what's going on in Kenlith? Should he express surprise that Randall enters? And he's so young, like, he shouldn't be a librarian yet. He shouldn't need to enter unless something really bad happens, so... Let me see here for a second. This is that cutscene. Okay, this cutscene. Well, okay, here's one thing. He should probably be doing his job as a librarian to make sure that you don't enter unless you're supposed to. So let's start with that statement instead of like, ah, Randall Adrian, why are you here? I'm just gonna write this for now below. Actually, I'm just gonna do it this way. I mean, I could go back to Farron, back when Farron last I was in this library, and he was like, "For what purpose do you unseal the sacred place?" I could do that again. Because I think there has to be a lot of impact to the fact you just opened up this ancient, like, artifact that you weren't really supposed to do, but you were told to by your grandfather when he died, right? And not just be... On what authority do you unseal this sacred place?
So cheesy.
What is?
The touching and a shot.
What?
On what authority do you unseal this sacred place?
I think I got so lucky.
What would be things Randall could say in response to that?
I'm just gonna waste time. Is it supposed to be 2 minutes?
Maybe something like, halt. Do not pass further. Further? Farther? Do not pass further. On what authority do you unseal the sacred place?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'll continue this later, it's fine. How'd it go with you and your girlfriend?
That was good.
Yeah, what'd you guys do?
Just talked.
Halt, Randall Adrian. Do not pass further.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. I'm okay with this. Then...
I'm almost at $500,000. What did I sell? Oh, I did sell for 122,000 coins.
Well, the first answer is, my grandfather told me to.
Oh, push B? Create new kickoff name.
Okay, my grandfather, right? That's the first answer. My grandfather.
So those that I'm playing against you, not camera. What do I do?
Whatever you want.
You choose your guess. No!
That would go to this line.
Anderson volley is hard, but I like it.
Let's go.
Or you can just push X. Oh, let's do that. Let's push X 5 times. And whatever lead we get into. Oh, true. And then push X 5 times and get more. Not this bird.
Just before he died, he told me to find this key and use it to unlock this door. Okay, and then the response to that would be...
Yeah. Right now it's
what's his name? Derek?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Adrian
I
has
don't know this
been
thing, but I like that from here.
slain. That is dire news. the skeleton monster you describe. That is an agent
Might as well.
of the undead.
His sprint speed is 53.
A creature of chaos. So now we have an awkward spot in this conversation where we can say the other thing you might want to say is, what the living daylights are you? Are you? In response to seeing literally a ghost. What are you? So let's actually swap these. 1, 2. 2, 1. What are you? Speak as though you do not know. You don't know. I am a spirit of the ancient dead, guardian of this library. Library. Whoop. Airy. There we go. Did it. Ugh. I'm a spirity of the ancient dead, guardian of this library. If you do not answer my question, I will be forced to destroy you.
So
Now,
normally it does not count.
Yeah.
on whose authority do you unseal this sacred
Well,
place?
PKs don't count.
I know. This will be a red card.
PKs don't count, bro.
And then we say, my grandfather, and go to that one. Okay. Now here's the awkward part about this.
Oh, they do count.
It means that if you don't ask, what are you at the beginning, you won't know.
I
I
don't
guess
count.
PKs count.
But I think what we do is, as you're leaving, if you talk to him again, you can learn.
Alright, who did I kill?
You can learn what he is afterwards. So like he's like, do you have any questions, Randall? And then one of them is, what the heck are you? That's fine. Derek Adrian has been slain. Did I spell Derek right in this context? Hold on. Wiki. Yeah, I did. Okay.
You didn't get the ball.
That is dire news. The skeleton monster you described, that is an agent of the undead, a creature of chaos. And if we go down here, this information. Okay, so what have we got so far? We got this. That's it. We only got this one. Okay.
This isn't no rules.
I know.
I'm gonna volley. Wait, corner.
Indeed. It is good that you acted as you did. I'd like to get at least one more choice in the conversation, so that you can. Only powerful magic could defeat a fully trained librarian. The skeleton monster you describe that as an agent of the undead, a creature of chaos. Indeed, it is good that you acted as you did. This is feeling weird. Can I get a question in here? Oof, I don't like that last sentence. Indeed, it's good that you acted as did, so now, for now, we may have a chance to fight back? It's not quite right.
Hey, it's not a super team. You know, oh. What the hell?
There's a key hidden within this village. You must find it. Use it. I'm sorry to not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian.
Thank you. I know I'm the last librarian.
It's fine. I appreciate Manny's commentary.
It's people watching appreciate me. Last time they wouldn't stop talking about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that's only because you kept saying stuff.
Can you guys hear me?
They can't. One of them's eating, so they won't type.
Type pi equals 3.14 if you can hear me.
I'll do it for you. Pi equals 3.14.
Oh, of course you can hear me.
Okay. Sorry, I did not tell you sooner, but you are the last librarian. Okay.
Oh,
So...
my phones are like flashing. Overload. What does that mean?
Swiftly. So we're just going to assume that when like Randall says something, he might explain a little bit more than is actually listed there, necessarily. Indeed, it is good that you acted as you did, and so swiftly.
That was horrible. Oh wait, I can do volume myself.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't even introduced himself. Oh man, this is so bad.
Just a no.
Okay, he doesn't introduce himself, so that doesn't... Oh, man.
Try doing a volley.
Do not pass further. I am Darian Shortmore, spiritual guardian of this library.
That was horrible.
That? Well, let me do this, right?
Did anybody write 3.1?
No.
Yes! Oh wait, no.
That was me. No, there's only one person left watching at the moment, Manny, and they're eating dinner. Yes. We had 5 people for a while. It was cool.
You had 5?
Yeah. It's pretty late, because the time zone now, we're the latest time zone. So people like on the East Coast were watching for a while, but now they've gone to bed, so.
People on the East Coast were watching them?
Not, well, Midwest, I don't know where they were, but. It's later for them, so it's like midnight or 1 or whatever, so. Oh, there you go, Manny. Here you go.
What?
Luna responded, just to you.
3.14?
No, she added 159 as well.
I said pi equals 3.14, not 3.
Yeah, but it doesn't equal 3.14, Manny.
No, pi equals cherry.
Pi equals cherry? Like cherry pie? Or apple? I do like apple pie.
I don't like pies at all. Do you like pies, man?
I do, yeah.
Alright.
The right type of pie.
Halt, Randall Adrian, do not pass further. I am Darian Fortmore, spiritual guardian of this library. On whose authority do you unseal this sacred place? Well, we're just working on this conversation with Darian Fortmore at the beginning of the library. So, if you have any feedback on these 3 sentences. And then you say, my grandfather, a skeleton monster killed my grandfather. Just before he died, he told me to find this key and use it to unlock this door. Derek Adrian has been slain. That is dire news. Only powerful magic could defeat a truly fit, fully trained librarian. The skeleton monster you describe, that is an agent of the undead, a creature of chaos. Indeed, it's good that you acted as you did, and so swiftly.
It's true. I just don't know when to time it. So
Yeah. Oh no, it took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah, it does sound clunky.
There are some games where I lost like 10 to 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like literally the same basically as the beginning, but it doesn't sound as good. But it's like, I don't quite know what information needs to be explained here, right? Like, you're getting told... Is the green hard to see?
Oh,
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, I see. I can go both ways.
Here, we can do it this way. There you go. I made it yellow. How's this? You know, I should really make just the text bigger too. I know how to. There has to be a way. Here, I can do this over here. Text editor. Font size.
I tried screwing up when you caught me. Whoa, it's pretty good.
Ah! Okay. Apply. There, the font is a little bigger now. What's the regular? Is it 10? Okay, it is regularly 10, so here, let's make it that. Apply. Alright, so the notes at the top is like, I guess what we need to include. So you're going in, the librarian spirit guy, he's like, hey bro, why'd you open this up? And then you explain what happened, and he's like, oh man, that's really bad. We better deck you out with magic and weapons so that you can go out and fight him. This is annoying me. Tell me what you think, Luna. You probably have a better idea than me. Where is my notebook?
What happened?
No, it's a challenge. I don't even know what we are.
What the heck was that? Oh my God. I don't know what that was. Oh my goodness. I would have heard.
A horrid skeleton slayed my skeleton. A horrid skeleton slayed my skeleton. With his last breath, he instructed me here.
Come on, somebody. What?
That is definitely much better. I feel like Randall might not necessarily speak with that much poetry, though. But I like the. Well.
Flash is really, like, it's cool.
Yeah, I do it like it's like.
I like the second half, definitely with his last breath.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Not very like strong.
Instructed me. Okay, with.
Offside.
So he did just tell you to find the key and use it. Slayed? Yeah, killed is better. It used to be slayed. It seems weird, like your slaying a human doesn't usually happen. He instructed me here. I guess that's technically true. I said the whole key sentence because, like that's what happened, right? We just created that ourselves over here.
When the ball was in the air with cars, it's just so hard to get it.
Whereas like, oh, there's a key hidden, find it, use it. But he did, I guess, instruct him here. That's fair. A skeleton monster killed my grandfather. With his last breath, he instructed me here. Mother, he's slain me. Run, I pray you. What? You egg?
Why are you getting those insults from Shakespeare?
What? Why am I getting those insults from Shakespeare?
Yes.
Because Shakespeare is the best insulter ever. He like invented most of the things we use to insult people with.
Seriously, do you call somebody an egg?
Not anymore, but
really?
only because I read Macbeth. Now I do all the time. I love that play. It's brilliant.
I also like that fella.
I like that fella.
I bite my thumb at you, sir. That's another good one, Luna.
Very good. That's a very Shakespearean.
I love that one.
Oh, I bite my thumb at you.
You bite your thumb? I do, sir. I bite my thumb at you, sir. Oh man, that was funny.
Isn't biting thumb like saying the middle finger?
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that helped a lot. Thanks, Luna, with the second one. Don't forget to capitalize Librarian. That's true, yeah. He instead of that.
That was horrible.
How about it?
The person you could have talked to, you chose the absolute wrong one.
It wasn't me.
Technically, well, okay, so last is male, but,
There's gotta be an easier way to flick the ball.
It is even worse than saying that.
I don't know. Not that I know of. But there has to be.
Well, I think that he wouldn't think that the skeleton is necessarily like a human.
Treading the juggle.
Right. I don't think they. Well, I will. They know that Last is a real person, right? But at the moment, they think that this agent of the undead is just like a general skeleton creature, like the skeletons you fight in
Hey man.
at Skull Dungeon. If you found out later that he's actually Last, the Emperor returned from the dead, then you would refer to him as he. But until then, it would be it, I think, because, like... Right. Okay, yeah. As long as we're on the same page. Definitely give any suggestions you have. The skeleton monster, you describe it as an agent of the undead, a creature of chaos. Indeed, it is good that you acted as you did and so swiftly. That line doesn't feel like it serves much purpose. The whole beginning...
It's a long range.
I'm daring for it more spiritual guardian of the library. That lets me remove the whole bit about like, what are you? Oh no. Because I think most humans playing the game, most people would realize that, oh, it's a ghost and he's a spiritual guardian. Okay, I think it sounds good now. All right, then let's move on to the next step. The next step is much more complicated. Wait, hold on, we need this quotation. There we go. Oops. The Indeed sentence as good as flavor text. Okay. As long as it sounds good, it's worth reading. Like, I think it's important because he's affirming that you came. So, he's saying, yeah, you did the right thing. Definitely glad that you unlocked this library because I really want to work a question in here. Like a response. What will we do now? That feels weird though. What might Randall do in this situation? Yeah, from Randall. I want the player to be able to respond with something to this. I don't want it to just be him talking. And then we have to get to the point of Kendleth Library is a storehouse of powerful weapons and a magical spell.
Oh, you've got an amazing attack. That's right.
How can I avenge my grandfather? That's a good question. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Your father or someone else. We'll get to him. How can I avenge my grandfather? That's actually really nice. I like that a lot. Thank you. Because it applies... Oh, are you having the spirit say what we do now? No, just Randall. That was one of my suggestions for what he would say. This is after Darian says, "Indeed, it is good you acted as you did and so swiftly." What might Randall respond to that? So I like how can I avenge my grandfather because it starts right at the beginning. The idea that Randall wants to avenge his grandfather.
Take mine.
So let's do. How can I avenge my... Yes. What is this place? No, he hasn't already asked that. Oh, that's a really good answer. Yeah. What is this place? Because he's like, oh, it's good that you did what you did and you unlocked this place. Then he might ask, well, what is this place? Why is it so important that I did that? Okay. What is this place? Okay, thank you. That was brilliant. Thank you, Luna. Those are both great suggestions. I like both of these. Let's see what we can do with them. I like them. So what is this place? Makes perfect sense in the context, and lets me give more information about it easily. That makes sense because he can answer the question and answer other questions at the same time. And then how can I avenge my grandfather? I can answer basically the same way. Slightly different text, but I can answer all the same information with that question. And it sets up the idea that Randall wants to avenge his grandfather, which is something I want to persist throughout the game, because that's part of the motivation you might have for fighting the villain, especially once bad stuff happens and he, like, you know, destroys the entire village. Then that's a, you know, good reason to have motivation, like, oh, you destroyed the village, you destroyed my grandfather, I want to kill you or battle you or whatever. In addition to the other possible reasons you might want to, like, I'm a librarian and I should. Okay, so let's work with this and see. I'm actually gonna move this on this side formatically, and then we'll code it later. What is this place? 3, 4. How can I avenge my grandfather? 3. Please play Fable. Is it free?
Mình nổi lên.
Fable. Hold on, I'm looking it up. No, that's not what I... No, not that. Fable. Space. No video game series. No, but if you have an Xbox, you can borrow my game. I don't have an Xbox. Hey Manny, could I borrow your Xbox if someone loaned me a game to play?
What game?
Fable.
How big is it?
But yeah, I'll worry about that later. Or sometime I'll just come over to your house and you can show me how it works. So what is this place?
No, you're actually getting a lot. Hey, how was I in the draft one? No, but how many shots did I?
So what is this place?
It happens to all of us.
This is the Kendlith Library. I'm just gonna do the first sentence of each of these.
That's happened to me a bunch of times too. How did you?
You're speaking huge. I forgot how big you were.
What would his response be to avenge your grandfather, though? I'm wondering if maybe Darian would say something like, "It's not merely a story of revenge."
Oh my
like,
god, no way.
This is, you know, more.
I tackled on you though. How did I not hit my foot?
Not here though. Just see the replay.
This is more than the death of your grandfather, Randall.
Oh, you were standing up.
No, but I tackled that guy too early.
This is a threat to.
Too early for number 13.
These keeper ties are so weak, bro.
I'm fond of that one. Tell me what you think. While I understand the urge, more is at stake than revenge. Ooh. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write that next to this one that I just wrote.
So fast.
And think about it. While I understand the urge, more is at stake than revenge. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I think in a little bit I'll probably replace my old one because that's pretty good. This is okay.
You keep actually touching.
Did you actually touch it?
This is the Kendlith Library. Vengeance is also good. Yes. That's true. I think revenge works better, so I'll leave it like it is that way. Okay, so this is the Kenlith Library. The libraries are... Ooh, one of several stationed throughout the world of Rosera. Throughout Rosera.
Touch that corner.
Stationed seems weird to me. Spread, located, hidden within, hidden throughout.
Pass back.
I like hidden throughout. Yeah, but I wasn't sure what other word would be good. It's true. Stationed is pretty good. I think I like several hidden throughout, because that, like, they're secrets, right? Alright. So then it's one of several. That was good, thank you. Then we need...
It's not a foul?
Yeah, it's perfectly legal.
Is a... Well, it's not a storehouse. There is a storehouse. It's that one in Rythe. There's a Rythe storehouse, but it's not a vault containing ancient magic. The legacy of the Librarian Order.
No!
It's fine, the door's closed. It is a vault containing ancient magic, the legacy of the Librarian Order. How's that sound? And then, well, I understand that there is more at stake. Ooh, I'm gonna do it like this. There is more at stake. Ooh, nor at stake than revenge.
Oh my god, just 2-2. It's just one goal. I know, just one goal apiece. Yours was more impressive than mine was. Huh? Yours is more impressive.
You could also put plural vaults. They are vaults. Right. I don't know if he's necessarily describing all of them in this sentence, though. Like, I think this one's just referring to Kenlith, like, because this is Kenlith Library, one of several hidden throughout Rose. Several hidden. Oh, that's actually kind of weird. One of several hidden, like, what is it? Kenlith Library. There's multiple Kenlith libraries. One of several hidden vaults throughout Rosera. They contain ancient magic, the legacy of the Librarian Order. I'm also thinking about the first half of the sentence. While I understand the urge, so I really like there's more at stake than revenge, but the while I understand the urge feels a little weird. Like unsurprising you feel that way, but there's more at stake than revenge.
Gosh, so did I.
Anger is human, Randall, but there is more at stake than revenge. No. Luna disagrees with me. I'm unsurprised is fine.
So I wish I had a response to you.
Alright, hold on, I can just...
You have one at home?
Yeah. I gotta get a new one, it's not working great.
What is it?
It's like the original like Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
So like
Yeah. Why didn't you bring it?
I wanted to like
Oh, I'm...
focus on school.
Oh.
And so I thought if I just left it at home, it would make it easier to.
Oh, you're saying I should say...
I didn't bring it for 4 weeks. I didn't bring it until 4 weeks later.
Surprised.
So I'm like, school was really stressing me out.
I'm not surprised, but there's more at stake than revenge. I'm not surprised, but there's more at stake than revenge is a better sentence, but it doesn't refer to what necessarily he's saying, so I think anger is human is the best one right now. Anger is human, Randall.
So we'll see maybe after like Christmas break.
Alright, so we'll use that for now. I'm sure I'll come and look at it again and add details. And you know what, I'm going to copy this old sentence so I have it for reference and put it over here. Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's just a slight delay. Yeah, no, it's a little weird to work through, but it's fine. Okay, so that's one sentence. Anger is human, Randall, but there's more at stake than revenge. In a way, I could add that this is a threat to all of Rosera afterwards.
Why did the goalkeeper just not grab with his hands?
Oh, that would have been cool.
Okay, so this is Kenlith Library, one of several hidden vaults throughout Rosara. They contain ancient magic. Libraries contain ancient magic. The libraries contain ancient magic, the legacy of the Librarian Order.
I hate it when I just pass it. Where's the keeper? Can't you pass? What? Why would my definitive screen?
How about this? Then we can say it is this magic
Back.
that you will need to defeat.
Always. Is this the boss coming to him? Oh yeah.
The undead creature.
Yep. I am not losing. I am not. Oh my god.
The magic instead of this magic. Well, I think he's specifically referring to the magic that's within the libraries. Oh, you're right. It works. It is the magic that you will need to defeat this. I think they'll have to convince me because I think this is slightly better, but I don't know. Is it a grammatical issue? Contain ancient magic. The legacy of the Librarian Order. It is this magic that you will need to defeat the undead creature. I'll note here, actually, we can do this. We can, this is so nice. That's kind of a grammar thing. It is the magic. It feels weird though, because it's like, here's some magic, that's the magic you need. Would be when you would use the. But like, here's some magic, it's this magic that you need.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense? It feels like this makes more sense in my head, but it sounds like the works better in your head, so. Let me just do this for now. So here's one thing we can do, which is kind of nice. 4, 3. And then...
See?
Wait, no, this is...
I'm already winning, so...
We can just do this.
It doesn't matter.
This magic is what you need. Rather than it is this magic. Oh, you're right. Or this is the magic that you will need to defeat the undead creature. That's better, you're right, that was the issue with the sentence.
Are you gonna beat me?
This is the magic you will need.
Why is it such a surprise, man?
There's still something wrong with that, but I need to think about it for a second, because that's definitely better. Hold on, let's go back to this. So now if you ask how can I avenge my grandfather, he answers this, there's more at stake than revenge, and then he can just go on to explain this, and it makes sense in context, I think, right? Anger is human randall, but there's more at stake than revenge. This is the Kindleth Library, one of several hidden vaults throughout Rosera. I think that transitions pretty well, and that makes everything super simple. You just get one extra sentence if you say, how can I avenge my grandfather? Then, this is the magic that you will need to defeat the undead creatures. Okay, now Randall can say... Sorry, did you ask something? I was in another window for something. Nothing, just as always, if you see something you want to suggest. So at this point now, well, I did mention that I'm pretty sure this sentence, anger is human randall, there's nothing to stake in revenge, then transitions well to this is the Kindleth Library, one of 7 hidden vaults throughout Rosera. So if you ask, like, how can I avenge my grandfather, I think that he can answer this and then move straight on to this stuff without it seeming awkward. But if you can confirm that, it might be nice. We could add a transition sentence in there if we need. And then down here, I want him to ask another question. I think this is a good time for a question. Like, why me? Why me? And then just, okay.
Iceland?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay, dokie. I'm stretching. Where did my water go? For some reason, programming and talking at the same time is way harder than just programming. I mean, it makes sense, but more so than I sort of anticipated. It's because you're typing. That's true, that does make it harder. It's hard for me to think and type and talk. It's like I'm doing 3 things though. Usually I can like do the brainstorming and the typing, but then try to talk at the same time. But I'm sure something I'll get better at as we practice. It's only the 3rd stream ever. So now he might respond to this. Why me? That's pretty clear question, right? Why me? And the thing about this, it's really important to get the questions into it's really important to try to get the questions into the middle of the chat, because it breaks it up for the player, where they're now playing it and they're able to interact with it and make choices. So even this, just responding, my grandfather, is important, even though there's no choice to make, because it means that the player is interacting and not just reading text, right? And each question causes them to think about what was going on and respond accordingly. So I love these questions. I think we've got these questions worked out. The next bit is, so now we know the libraries have magic, and you need them to defeat the undead creature. Okay, we got this. Randall needs magic. So the final thing is, Randall is a librarian and the librarians are. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's a good question. What is the librarian order? Aha! This is such a better layout than, like, this conversation. I feel like I should have spent longer on this conversation than I did, because this is so much better. So here he is as why me, because he's like, this is magic you will need to defeat the undead creatures. That makes sense. And then what is the librarian order? Well, he talked about the legacy of the librarian order here, so that makes sense also as a question. And both of these can explain that Randall is a librarian and who the librarians are. Literally, I could probably put the same answer to both of those questions, and no one will ever know until they play it again and pick the other question. And then they'll be like, the whole time it was fake. But that's okay. 5. Tea time is at 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I will probably end the stream at 10. Or a little sooner, depending on how much we've gotten done and how tired we all are. Okay, so why me? AFK. Wait, what? I didn't say anything important. The stream will probably be over at around 10. That's all. You are a librarian. Yeah. It's all good, Luna. Don't worry. You are a librarian, Randall.
Yeah, survival. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's going to begin. Jesus God. How does your formation look? Oh, interesting. Going up in the window? That's good.
You are a librarian, Randall.
I did not. Dude, I changed up formation. I guess.
They put some weird players in weird places.
Yeah. He just centered that. Whoa, this is so much faster.
By shouldering that blade, and tucking that key within your cloak. A legacy for 1,000 years.
Is it just me or is it faster?
No, it's definitely faster.
The librarian order.
Bad.
This. I like this sentence. By shouldering that blade and tucking that key within your cloak, you claim a legacy of over 1,000 years. Okay, so here's the only differences between the two things. If you say 5 first, why me? Then he says this, and then he explains who the Librarian Order is. If you say 6, he says the Librarian Order, and then he says that you are a Librarian. Brilliant. Top notch. Not ridiculous at all.
Spain?
Yeah. It should have been Spain, France in the final.
Tough one. I want Belgium to win it.
Yeah, Belgium should have done better than that.
Yeah.
They should have been in the final.
Honestly, I think I like this larger font size better. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, what is the Librarian Order? Why me? Does... Oh, hold on a second. I think Secret of Mana, he says that. Secret of Mana. Why me? Chosen me? Why me?
You should have had it. You sucked, dude.
Yeah. And in the Premier League right now. He cut that with his hand.
Why is he over down there?
Oh.
It's kind of similar to Secret of Mana in that way, actually. That's nice.
Switch that.
Never opposed to it being similar to Secret of Mana. It's cool with me.
You have a sunset top like that?
No, I didn't.
Right.
I'm more proud of. Should Alba be right there?
No. That's how I had it. That even happened to it. So I was so confused.
Morata was at the bottom.
What is the Librarian Order? Well, the Librarian Order was founded to defend Rosera for evil.
Come on.
How do you Oh my god, really?
1,000 years ago, Rosera was conquered by a terrible
How's that not offside?
dictator.
Was he actually offside?
Dictator talk. Dictator talk. It was the Kythan Emperor last.
I don't know what to say.
I don't even know, man. Thunderbolt.
Yeah. That's like wow. Was that really fair?
Come on, everybody, chase me down. Did they take Barada?
No, Thiago.
Why did they take Thiago? He didn't score.
It's random, I guess. What did they take for me? Because Carrasco scored. Munier. What? My
Doesn't make
formation
any sense.
changed again. My formation is not the 4-4-2.
See how you play games, man.
Yeah, but it's my formation. Why? Oh, just keep it like this. Oh my god, really? All the nice passes being like that shitty outcome.
1,000 years ago, Rosera was conquered by a terrible dictator taught. The Hythan Emperor, we called him last. He brought magic from chaos and used it as a weapon to terrorize the people. The Librarian Order defeated him and stole his magic. It has been stored in these libraries ever since. And now?
That's a red card. Damn it. Alrighty.
You go.
Soft you and I'll do it. Okay, now I do it.
Keep on good.
How do I dive?
With this one.
Wait,
Wait.
this one?
Yeah, with this one.
The right stick. Okay.
Really?
Got him. Same place you went last time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
We could cut this part of the sentence and then refer to him just as the evil right away.
Oh, what's it?
He brought magic from chaos. Used it as a weapon to terrorize him.
Show you to one.
Should be 2-2.
Look
at that.
Oh.
What?
Oh, it's mine? Yeah, that should not have been mine. Wow. Wow, just wow. That's cute. You actually have one less player than me.
Yeah.
Oh! We actually caught out his head. That's funny.
So you can see a replay of that.
Oh, the face it?
Yeah. I think it's probably too late now. No. this. I just kind of like right on the jaw. Run, Jordy.
Yes, you. No. Oh, Lukaku, nobody's blocking you. Nobody's blocking you.
Are you serious? Why would nobody block it? Oh, we don't have a player.
Now the magic must be entrusted with the last remaining member of our order.
Yeah. Nobody's blocking him. You're God. Oh, De Bruyne left. No. It's like one of our best players.
That's it. That's him right there.
He's left. Oh no, what we're talking.
We're talking. I'm gonna shoot it. I can. I'm gonna shoot it. Yeah, I'd want to have a crack. What are you doing? Don't stop. It was so close.
Yeah, it was. It was very tight for a
I was
while.
doing so good.
He's on now. Lukaku, leave. Well, now I don't have a forward. No. No. It's like, where are all my people?
Oh god! You only have 2 defenders. You call yourself a pro ball player.
Let's go Hazard. How can you grab that? God, you've gotta be kidding me. Go back,
Oh, that was lucky.
Your foot was way faster than mine.
Run! Run, bitch!
Good job.
What am I doing with my life? Why did I cut back? Oh, sorry.
Really was weak. You're your secondary keeper.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just I think it's one more fun, like.
How?
I think it's one more fun.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Is the best?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then no rules.
Yeah, that no rules. Aww.
What's I doing so well?
Where was just the last couple of minutes?
It was the last like 2 minutes.
Don't do that one again.
Alright.
I think I can do better.
I think it was your keeper.
I think it was.
It was your keeper.
Hey, Dan. Everything will be habitable. You choose to leave this time, though.
Let's go. That was a classical.
So I want to get some of these to have questions that you can, like, multiple to choose from. And now, and this chunk here, this one, I would like to simplify by one sentence. If I can cut out one sentence, that would be awesome.
Wait,
Heavy.
pitch where? Heavy?
Heavy. Always. Pitch pattern. So many pitches.
I'm pretty sure I can take off the...
Back!
Yeah.
It's Luna. She's back. Good, because I have a lot more written and I need feedback. So we got to this point here. These questions are asked and then they go to these two things. Everything down below is new. And then I have two things that I want to do, but the first is this section is long. If I can cut out one sentence, that'd be great, but I don't know if I can. And then I have these two where Randall says something. I want something else he might say that could have a slightly different response for one or both of them, so that there's more interest in the conversation.
Wow.
But I'll give you a moment to look over that. I'm reading.
At the beginning,
I'll look in the
and then 87, 'cause that's how bad
story document to think about something.
On
my other screen. Whoop. There we go.
Vasquez was in 84, no, he's in 81. Asensio was in 85, no, he's in 83. Marcelo's in 81 now. Wow. Tag to that.
Idea or Wraith. Ooh. Here.
You want one?
Nah, I'm good.
Whoa, what kind of...
I don't know, I just picked a random one.
I have not seen that one before.
You will find two things. First, a boomerang. This is one of several of the powerful library weapons designed to fight the undead. Second, a spell. Librarian Order was founded centuries or generations ago. That's a good idea. Founded generations ago. That gives the time commitment, other than just this legacy of over 1,000 years. But and then the evil that was the Kythan Emperor, the Emperor of Rosera, we called him last. He brought magic from chaos and used it as a weapon to terrorize the people. The Librarian Order defeated him and stole his magic. It was locked away in the libraries. For centuries, we persisted through generations. We guarded these libraries to ensure magic never fell into the wrong hands. And now that the magic must be entrusted with the last remaining member of our order. The undead were longtime minions of last. That sounds weird. If the undead have returned, it is better to take no chances. I will train you with this magic, and you will defeat the Emperor.
And you have to do it on the one that's highlighted.
You will defeat this creature before it has a chance to harm the people of Rosa. And to defend, locked away in the libraries, which we have guarded since from the wrong hands. That's true. That will let me delete the sentence. I think it's better, even if it's longer, to have that extra sentence in that method, because it talks about how they've persisted like through generations, that's passed from generation to generation. Yeah, I do want to delete one. I don't know if it's possible necessarily. That would work, I think, but I think I would rather have it be longer than delete it in that format. Does that make sense? I'm just looking for ideas. If we don't delete anything, that's fine.
Is that a weird formation?
But I think it just doesn't sound quite as good, even if it's shorter that way. You put generations in the first sentence now. That's true. Sentence go.
Really?
Hold on, I'm thinking. I think this might be possible. At least. Yeah, that does work, you're right. We could delete this sentence now. From Evil's Clutch is... Ooh, that's a good idea.
Evil's Clutch?
Evil's Clutch, yeah. Like, you know, when you have like a really evil car, it has an evil clutch.
Clutch is only for stick shifts.
Well, that's why. Stick shifts are evil.
No, they're not. I have one.
I'm kidding. So this would let me delete the sentence, but then this one is really long to get all the information. So I'm just gonna give up on the simplifying it, unless we think of something else, because I think that this should just be broken up into 2 sentences.
Yeah, they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Centuries. Locked away in the libraries. We have guarded since from evil's clutches.
I don't know what your decision was.
How did Messi reach that? That's my question.
Because he's fast as that.
How?
Oh, you're right, that isn't that long.
There's the goalkeeper not even in the frame. I don't know what your decision with the goalkeeper was, but hey.
I do those all the time and it works.
Because you mentioned it was last magic right before that, so you don't need to directly reference magic in that sentence.
I guess you saw it coming.
Who's got kicked
That's
off
true.
of me, though?
I don't know.
Alright, now we gotta see you both now.
Messi.
Alright, so that does work. Is it
What up?
better than just having it longer, though, I guess is the question.
It's clutch evil.
So I don't think it works quite as well.
Clutch.
I don't know.
So
Clutch.
Clutch plays? Or
No, clutch from a card.
don't know what that means.
I don't know, man. Jonathan said it, not me.
Yeah,
alright, I'm just gonna settle with it being longer. That was a good attempt. I don't think I can quite compact that information because I really like this. We've persisted through generations.
Didn't climb enough your leg.
Even if we put generations at the beginning,
Bite marks.
this is more explicit and
Sounds
easy to
like
understand.
you've got a personal experience.
Yeah, I've got all these bite marks all over my leg from something that I don't return.
Oh no.
You didn't feel it?
Nope.
Wait, there's a bug on the train?
Something crawled up my leg and started
Oh,
biting.
gross.
I didn't know it was the train.
Ew.
Sorry, stream.
I didn't know it was from the train.
Because I didn't have it when I got on the train, and I had it when I got off the train.
But how was your
You're on
trip,
the
Caleb?
train, then.
It was good. Nice and relaxing.
How long was
Excellent,
the
excellent.
It was 3.5 hours. Not that bad.
To where?
Portland.
Portland? Oh, that's not too bad.
I like Portland.
Yeah.
So what train did you take?
I've done that train a few
The
times,
one
actually.
from up here by the stadiums?
King Street.
Alright, so we have these sentences, and now the magic must be entrusted with the last remaining member of our
Where
order.
did you go?
The undead were longtime minions of last. That's
How far is it from him?
15 minutes?
okay. Then you should either take away centuries or go in the first sentence,
I
or
got
4 centuries in the
there
last sentence. So you're not repeating yourself.
On the way there, I got there via Uber. On the way back, Dylan picked me up.
That's a good point. Then I should probably get rid of this second one, the bottom one, because that would make the sentences shorter.
I'm surprised.
The sentence would be shorter.
Was it nice going
Take away
back?
now in the next response instead of simply putting now.
Moved the bathtub. That was cool.
That's always fun.
We did some demo
Oop.
work. We raked leaves. It was good to be home. And then I go back to Thanksgiving and also for winter break.
Is that more natural? I think he's like responding, like he's asking the question
I
back.
have to get everyone's numbers. I know
Like,
they're all
and now,
but I write them down.
now the magic must be in, like, I think it makes sense that he says it that way. But let me know what you think. It does make it shorter to cut it out,
I was
which is
already
fine.
lonely this summer. That's why I worked a job where I worked.
Which is a good
When I
thing,
go
of
home
course.
the weekends, I kind of feel lonely
For
already.
centuries.
Because I'm used to everybody just being around.
Yeah.
I got my friend Liz and my friend Brandon. And Ian lives in Oregon as well, so I have that.
That is true. It's a
y'all
little
are my
repetitive.
fam, so
No way, it feels weird when you're back home just sleeping by yourself in the room, doesn't it?
I worked. The deal is that I worked with the summer camp this summer. And a lot of
Oh,
Outside.
see pictures on my phone, like pictures
have
of
long
the
been.
birds
Thank
in
you.
the sand.
Oh, buried. I thought you
Oh, I thought you
said
said
Long
birds.
been minions of last.
Buried.
That was,
Buried.
I was like, wait, you
and
burned a
if
kid
they
in
have
sand?
returned.
Did he
Oh,
turn to glass?
good point.
That's illegal.
They buried kids. in.
That was, I think, when I first wrote the sentence, I was trying to write the undead have long been minions of last, and then for some reason I forgot how that worked.
Somebody doing
Also,
So
when you tell
I
a kid
wrote
not
what
to
I did.
stand
They stand.
on rock. So they're when you're by a river, we call these like the rocks that are completely surrounded by water. We call them island rocks. And we
makes
always
sense.
tell the kids not to go on the
For
island
centuries.
rocks.
Why?
They're gonna fall in.
So what?
We are a non-profit organization who,
We have persisted
if
through
anything
generations.
happens to the kids, who gets blamed for it? We do.
No, when the parents signed the
To
contract.
this
They did not sign
time,
any contract.
What?
we have persisted through generations.
You need to. We are
It is
not
better
responsible
not
for
to
your
take
kid.
chances.
We are
If
basically
he
a
falls off a
daycare.
rock island.
We are basically a daycare. And they entrust us to keep their kids safe. And that's what they sign off on.
It is better
So you
not to
should
take
sign a
chances.
contract.
It's better to take no chances.
And you wouldn't, if you had a contract like that, you wouldn't have parents coming there.
We've persisted
who-
through
you wouldn't have as many
generations and
students
guarded
there
the
as we do.
libraries.
So you guys don't charge anything then, so it's a non-profit.
Yes. Well, we do. It's still summer camp, so there's still a fee just because of resources and things
Yeah,
like that.
but it's not like.
It's not astronomical.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That makes
How
it
much is
quite a bit
per
shorter.
kid?
Thanks.
And how long
We
is it?
persisted through generations and
It's
guarded
a
these
week or
libraries
weeks,
to ensure
But they're 1 week camps. But
I'm gonna
a
add
lot
the
of
extra
kids
that
just- their parents are
magic
working,
never
so they just sit there all
fell
the
to ensure
time.
that magic
Kids
never
come
fell
every once
into the
in a while.
wrong hands.
Wait, there's some kids that stay there the whole summer?
Yes.
And now,
Because their parents
now
are
the
working.
magic
They
must
don't
be
wanna deal with
entrusted
them.
with the
Or
last
the
remaining
kids
member
who
of our
can't
order.
stay home alone.
The undead
They
have
have some sort
long
of
been
issue.
minions of last.
What's
If
the
they have
age
returned, it is
7 to
better to take
Oh,
no
wow,
chances.
really
I think I
small.
like it is better to
Which
take
I
no
find
chances
funny,
better
'cause I was
than
home alone when I
it is
was
better
like
not to take chances.
9 or
Same.
10.
I would stay home alone at that age too.
I will train you with this magic, and you will defeat this creature before it has had a chance to harm the people
Well,
who
these kids
serve.
are crazy. The ones who stayed there all summer were really hard to deal with because they got really comfortable. They got the whole like, oh, now it's like I'm at home, so I can break the rules. Like, nope, you still have to follow the rules.
How much would you get paid if you don't mind me asking?
I got paid $12 something.
Not bad. For how many
Not bad.
hours?
For 40 hours a week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
Most days.
Okay, here's another
I
idea.
would start at like 7:30.
I'm thinking, what if we asked, and another question you could say is,
Yeah.
7:30 to
8. Here, we'll fix the 9 down there.
maybe like 4.
How far was it from where you live?
Oh, before I moved, I could bike there.
Oh, you moved?
Yeah, I moved. We moved. We were in Beaverton, and then we moved to Portland. Up into like the hills. We're like. 5
Maybe
minutes
ask why is
from
magic so
town
dangerous,
now.
and then he can explain that in
At
detail
least,
if you
like,
are interested in additional
a half
details.
hour away.
It's
These
like,
I will
live
teach you
a
to
suburb
use and with
Yeah,
them.
more like a suburb.
Oh, good call. These I will teach you to use and with them.
It's this.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Our bicycle.
I'm thinking about the evil's clutches thing. I think that if you were to use that phrase, you. It also means grasps. That was a hard word for me to say. Grasps.
That's what you say, clutch.
That's exactly.
What's a grass?
They made up the word clutch so that
This is grass.
you wouldn't have to, say grasps.
This is also a sign of pedophilia, so watch out.
Oh man. So I think if you were to say clutches, you'd have to say never fell into the clutches of evil and not like evil's clutches. That sounds kind of weird. That might just be because I've said evil's clutches like way more often than I have said in my entire life in the last 10 minutes.
What a ball.
And apparently my roommate has not even heard the term before, so.
Oh, that's possible.
He's a little freaked out by that.
I saved myself there.
How did you escape their clutches? What?
Good tackle.
Whose clutches?
My clutches.
Manny's clutches? Well, he never clutched me.
Are you sure about that?
Technically, no.
The diabolical clutches. Of
We do sleep in the same room. I don't think I would necessarily notice if someone touched me while I was sleeping.
Yo. Like, do you have a bed?
Actually, I probably would, to be honest. I think that would wake me up.
You clutch all the time, would you?
Oh yeah.
It's perfectly normal.
I mean, it doesn't have to be too creepy. I mean, just grabbing someone's arm is bad, but we're freaking out the internet chat. This is why I don't post.
Is that a friendly chat? Family friendly?
It is family friendly.
So I can't say like swear words or anything?
Anyway, yeah, let's move back on to what we were working on.
Oh, that's fucking shitty.
Oh man, Manny, come on. What I was gonna say is this was why I don't post VODs onto my YouTube channel. You never know what could happen.
Tell them who likes FIFA.
Oh. Did I tell you what? So we had hall events last year at Whitworth and our.
I'm just gonna say
hall.
evil hands. That shortens it a little bit.
Every week.
You can add now
They were awful,
to what should I
because Every
do?
week we did FIFA. That's all we ever did for hall event.
Oh,
What should I do
Really?
In a
now?
room that was like half this size.
Wait, at your old school?
Yes.
That's
that
a good
was our
idea.
hall event. Because
I will train you with this.
Sucked.
Wait,
Good guy, but he never planned anything.
Why would you guys play FIFA?
Because that was a game he had in his room.
Or maybe what do I do? Because he says, I will train you with this magic, and you will defeat this creature before it has had a chance.
Alright, Neil
It has a
Holland,
chance to harm the
we're
people
gonna
of
put
Rosera.
Oh gosh.
And
No,
then
please, no,
he
I'm
might
not
respond.
FIFA.
Only if we play Despacito while we do it.
Okay.
How should I do that? Or what should I? What do I do?
Words, because you can't
What should I do?
pronounce things that quickly.
You think not, but doesn't stop me from trying.
That's interesting. Okay, and then magic. Why is magic so dangerous? I was thinking I could add here. We give an explanation
Completely
for
different
that.
person now.
What do I need to do? Oh yeah, you're right. There we go.
10 pounds.
You're 110 there?
Yep.
Do I
Now,
need to do?
140.
Perfect. You're right. That's the correct sentence for that.
132.
So why is magic so
I've been
dangerous?
132 for almost 3 years now.
Very healthy weight.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Is dangerous because it is powerful. With great power comes great responsibility. Oh man, that's a brilliant line. We should add that in here. Great power comes great. Caleb's looking over my shoulder.
Ashamed of you, Jonathan. Why?
I'm
Wait, so does
joking.
that mean that you
With great power comes
Caleb,
great chance. Oh, I keep saying
I
great
have played FIFA. I
chance
suck
of
at games,
getting
and I really don't like
yourself
sports games. So.
killed. How's
What's
that?
your game?
first person shooters?
Okay, sorry, I'll stop making bad references.
I got Assassin's
Thank you for
Creed.
keeping me accountable,
You like
Caleb.
Assassin's Creed, right?
I do like
I've always wanted to
Assassin's
play
Creed.
Assassin's Creed. I've never played it.
What is
I
the
got
Assassin's
I got
Creed?
4 Assassin's Creed.
What is the Assassin's Creed?
Honestly, it never says what it is.
Historically.
Yeah, you ever want to play Assassin's Creed? Just let me know. I got.
I've always wanted to play that.
I have to learn. I have to memorize what receptor tyrosine kinases are.
I've got the Eto. I took collection, which has 3 games in it. Because it's like from the same person, and I haven't.
Magic has historically been a
I still
tool
like
of
Altair
oppression.
better.
I haven't played Altair.
He was so much more mysterious.
I get to play little mini games. Well, little missions that Altair played.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make it your. I'll make it a. Let's just go straight to it.
What are you doing?
But how does this
I
link
have Assassin's Creed
to...
on my computer. I don't need to play it here.
Man.
I've never played.
Because I need to explain
Never.
this
No.
this
No,
sentence
My parents never let me because
and this
video games like
sentence.
Okay,
Yeah, so I need
my
to...
friends didn't let me play
I have to
games
show
like that until I
7.
was, like, older.
Even if you ask why
They
magic is
only play
dangerous,
Call
it
of
is
Duty
dangerous because of
until
its power.
16.
Magic has
Dude,
historically
same.
been a
All the
tool of
ones that play, like,
oppression, a
shooter
tool
games
to
with, like,
control
17.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I did, but we got my brother finally convinced my parents to get an Xbox. Which then we went and played like one of the most
You know what was
violent
the
games.
first shooter game I played?
If we added the word "but" to this,
Halo 4.
a tool to
Halo
control
1
people.
was the first
But now the
shooter
magic
that
must be
I
entrusted
played
with the
all
last
way back when
remaining member
my
of our
brother and I
order.
would always play on the giant map.
Does that make sense? I think it
Wait,
does.
what?
Awesome. It would be so much fun. Except my brother would just go for the sniper rifle all the way first. Anyway, yeah, same thing happened with me, but except my first shooter that I was allowed to play was Borderlands, which is so freaking violent
It is
and
really
inappropriate,
So
I-
violent.
and lots of other
I
things.
did not know I had lineage and embers.
But I guess in this one, there's
one.
quite a lot of
No, we're gonna start.
violence.
Oh, okay, so Assassin's Creed
But
2
in the
was
hands
part
of
one
those who are
so
just,
this
it can
is
be
the
used for
first
good.
Ezio, second of Ezio, third of Ezio on this one.
Yes, I guess. Okay, so this is quite violent, and there's a scene where he sleeps with someone. I think.
Yeah, that's Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. That's what I thought.
He sleeps with a lady, but it doesn't show anything.
No, it does imply it though.
It doesn't.
Well, more than implies it.
Movies today, PG-13 already implying
Isn't
it.
that interesting?
That is.
Sometimes they don't
It's really
imply
nice.
it; they just blatantly say it. They don't use the same
You
language.
can have
No,
partial
they don't.
nudity in PG-13.
Let's go back
Search
10 years.
profile.
Let's go back 10 years and think about PG-13. What does that mean to you?
Magic has
No, you
historically
got
been
to-
used as a tool of
To
oppression,
me,
a tool
that
to
meant
control
Teen
people.
Titans.
But in the hands of those who are just, it can be used for good.
Like Avatar. Yeah,
And then
Last
he can
Airbender.
say,
But other than that,
Hormone, Session 2.
and no. How does that feel?
That.
So this adds this extra little bonus bit that you can get. And it breaks it up. Even if you're just going from here to here,
You gotta start from the very beginning.
You just have to watch all these cutscenes.
You don't have to. You can skip them.
I'm sorry, but did someone just say Avatar?
No, we said Assassin's Creed.
I think the chat is disappointed.
Group chat, do you guys like Assassin's Creed?
How many people are watching?
One right now.
2. Oh.
One of them is me, because it counts me for some reason watching the stream on this end.
Chat, do you like Assassin's Creed?
There's a delay. It's like a minute delay, so
Oh.
it's kind of lagging behind. I heard Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, we said Assassin's Creed, not Avatar: The Last Airbender.
But apparently
How
Luna
about-
does like...
How about Ezio? The whole Ezio collection.
This is so dumb, Manny.
Sucks so bad.
This is super awkward.
Those lips.
Why is this awkward?
You should go join the chat, it'd be easier.
Man, you have a long delay. Make it only like 10 seconds.
I can't really fix it, it's the internet. Blame SPU's internet.
Do you have to have a delay?
There's always a little bit of delay because it has to send the information.
Oh. What do you mean, huh? Question mark?
What collection? Leave my chat alone, Manny. Don't be a troll. That was so funny last time. Manny literally was a troll in my chat.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I guess so.
So anyways, does this make sense? Like going from here to and now
I don't care.
to prompt the next question.
Assassin's Creed, cause I just get to go back in the old times.
Yeah.
Fight old fashioned.
Oh my goodness.
She's having a baby, don't worry.
I can't skip any of this. Okay.
Oh, I guess you can't skip this one.
Well, that's
the
awkward.
one I'm
guys.
on, you can skip the cutscenes.
Lucky.
And then wait, that's it, right? Okay, so we've got the last few sentences.
How do you know he's a boy?
Go now, good luck. Anything better we can put at the end?
Oh my God! I was at the bank when they told me. Did I miss it? Am I too late?
And then I guess we can code it and see what it looks like. Oh, it's because you're chatting too much. Let me see if I can, Okay, I made the, like, go now and good luck. Oh, good plan. I changed the chat permissions.
I like
Wait.
the name Ezio.
Done. Done.
Ezio.
Ezio.
Easy IO.
Okay, it should be. Okay, the chat should stop doing the spam thing. I made the permissions a little less aggressive. Obviously, there's not enough people for us to need a spam filter necessarily. Alright, so we can actually code this in. Since I think we're good, I'm sure we'll notice a couple things as we go, but halt. Randall Adrian.
Why did she have blood?
Server's got some fucked up interior decorating.
Oh man, bad words in the stream.
It's only one person. It's not like she hasn't heard it before.
No, I know, I'm joking. It's not a big issue.
Go, go, go.
I'm gonna copy that text. I'm gonna put it on.
There they are! Don't let them get away!
Put it in a text document.
Oh, she just kicked some booty.
Notes. So I can see the whole thing at once. There we go. Where did the stream go? Stream. There we go. Oh,
Alright now.
okay. Halt. Randall Adrian. I need my text up here. Okay. Do not pass further. And that's not supposed to be farther, right? I did that right? Context. I am Darian Fortmore, spiritual guardian of this library. Actually, can you think of anything that you might respond to? Darian Fortmore. What did you say his first name? That you might respond to other than my grandfather on this question, on whose authority do you unseal this sacred place? That's not right at all. Oops. Would he say anything other than my grandfather to this? This is not right. What is going on here? Text speed condition answers. Yeah, that's not right at all. Because for now we just have the one answer. And then he would, the text would be my grandfather. And he would go to one. Okay.
You get into a fight once you go back into the room. Oh yeah, that's the thing I don't like about the first one
So
is
now
that
Randall
it's kind of
says,
Look at her head's like funny.
Oh, you're gonna fight right now.
I can't do anything else.
Not right now, not yet.
my grandfather, the ancestors, the librarians, or I do not
No,
know.
fight back, push back.
I'm trying. It's not. Look at it.
Really?
Ooh,
What the heck? Was it
I
guys
like
that I was
your
holding
question,
the
your
trigger?
statement of my own. My question is, my grandfather,
Combat roll.
or my own, would you be able to connect these the same? He says it's my own authority because my grandfather was killed and he told me to. Does that make sense, or can we rephrase this question, this part down here?
Come on, girl.
Is that okay?
Also, grandfather is not capitalized in this context, is it?
Get in the car.
I love the graphics. Look at those letters.
I love the eyes that aren't quite.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed doesn't have the best graphics.
I think it's just how the lighting's hitting, or how they've designed the light to the eyes, and it makes it look very classy, and the eyes don't quite line up.
Don't quite work.
Then again, I mean, did you guys ever do like art lit or anything in elementary school?
No.
No.
So in Oregon, or at least the Portland and Washington school districts, you have to do elementary schoolers. Not funded anymore, but had
Like, I guess the implication would be,
so they would
like,
do
his grandfather's dead, so he's now the authority in this.
period different
I
artists.
feel like this might be a way to rephrase a sentence so that
And one of
that
the ones
works.
we did was self-portraits. When drawing heads, I did not realize just how big your head actually is, and how little percentage of your head is your face.
No way.
You draw a line halfway down your face, goes over your eyes.
Yeah, I can definitely do a different response. What should that response
All the way up here.
Yeah, your forehead's
be?
It's huge. The back of your head, when you're drawing.
Like, I guess,
So let's say this is your face.
yeah, I can make responses different. I can route it however I want. So, can we have Randall say something different that then resolves to the same response from Fortmore? Like, if he was like,
Yeah, it doesn't straight on that.
No, on my other computer.
Okay.
we could do this. We can use the same sentence and then add one more sentence where he clarifies. Like, that sounded bad, but
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, that's hard, man.
like that. At this point, I am the only authority in my life. That feels sort of weird,
After you actually get into some
but maybe
good
it works.
action. I got
I have a lot of like.
Did I put the camera up here? I did, okay.
Indeed. Welcome back. Ah, so this must be the infamous Subject 17. Desmond Miles, was it? Who are you? I'm sorry, where are my manners? I'm Sean Hastings. This is Rebecca Crane.
Nice to meet you, Desmond.
Right, well, it's been lovely chatting, but if you don't mind, Desmond, let's get straight to work. Time is precious. Luckily so these days.
We've got everything set up and ready, Lucy. Just say the word and we'll get going. Here, I brought you something. A parting gift from Extergo. Whoa, a memory core. This
NPC Darian,
data.
he is speaking.
I'll get to work on merging the code.
get into the machine. Yeah, talk to her.
Hey, Joe. What's up?
Wondering what your role is in all this.
I take care of baby. My job.
What the heck are SPU shots?
What? It's like a yearbook picture.
Sure, like, I would not deny my grandfather
That
his
was like
dying
actual
wish,
shots. I was like,
and so I
wait,
chose
what?
to come here.
Free shots.
It sounds like might have deeper pockets than us to think that. No passion, no competitive edge. That's why, even with all their resources, anything they can do has to use it. That's the truth. Anyway,
Let me think about that one.
I'm not the only one who thinks this sounds weird, right?
I like the idea of his response my own. Right, that's true, it is still his own choice. I like the idea of his response of, like, it's my own authority,
To your left.
being that he's now, like,
To your left. To your left.
dissociated
No,
from
no,
his family because they're all dead.
You have to know what.
That's pretty brutal, but I think that could be interesting.
So this stuff,
Does that make sense?
Desmond,
So, like, I'm the only authority in my life would mean, like,
it's just the stuff that keeps our operation from
at this point it doesn't matter because my grandfather's dead, so
keep it all moving, so you'll
he's dead, so it wasn't, like, his control.
Sean's in charge of maintaining our knowledge.
So I guess your comment, I would not deny my grandfather's dying wish, so I chose to come here, works sort of like that. I wonder if there's a way to phrase it more like he's separated. I don't know if that made sense.
For additional information.
Yeah, it's not just databases though. I
The other one doesn't have any scenes like this. There's no script, but this one's better.
Okay.
It's been like 15 minutes of this.
No way.
It's been 10 minutes of this.
Now I think you can go into the machine.
I gotta talk to her to go.
With no remaining family.
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, before. Everything that started, it was just, I wasn't ready.
It's okay.
No,
So I don't want to repeat I'm on here on my own authority.
Templars still exist. What they're planning.
What's done is done, Desmond. You're here now, and that's what matters.
So there are no others, but...
Alright, now you can go in, for sure.
How about that? My actions are no others but my own.
Doctor?
Sorry, can't talk now.
What? There.
How does this work? Of course.
Deep breath.
Ah! But what are you, a tiny child?
Sean!
No.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm at 500,000 coins.
Well, isn't my own supposed to be like a summary line for the response? That's how it usually begins. So they'll have a little part of the response as the option. Oh, I see why. Right. Like my own authority.
Whoa. Here's your first fight. You're gonna see how he gets a scar here.
Is that him?
That's it too. But the one I'm playing on, he's so old. Silencio.
Grazie. I say that a lot.
Grazie la grazie.
Grazie.
I think this works pretty well and gets the meaning across. I'm satisfied with this for now, I think. But you're right, that would be how it was normally done. I don't know if it's... I'll keep thinking about that one. That is dire news. Only powerful magic could defeat a fully trained librarian.
How much?
Lost the World Series. It's all over.
Oh, today was the final? Oh. Dang, this one has went up in price.
The old sister joke.
This is how he gets the scar.
Oh, you didn't want to repeat authority, sorry. Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. Indeed. It is a good... It is a good that... Good that you acted as you did. So swiftly. How does this work?
You can also knee him. You can hit him while he's on the ground.
That should be broken. There we go. Okay, I have to reset my computer real quick because it's malfunctioning. Alright.
Just weird, it's like guy's arms look awkwardly long.
They do.
Can't answer. What is this place? Go to 3, 4. on answer. And then our other one was, how can I avenge my grandfather?
Can't do anything.
5.
Lately or
2.
laggy?
Laggy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Marysville.
Fall back! Fall back! Hold on. What? Not win this. Not win. What's the scratch? Let the doctor decide. It's not necessary. Besides, there's
Text.
no money for these doctors.
Darius.
The way he's giving
Hunger is human. Randall. There is more stake. Here is an revenge.
There's bound to be something in the public.
Oh yeah, you have to loot them. Oh yeah, whenever you kill somebody, you can always push B and loot them to get more money, and with the money you can buy better armor, weapons, etc.
Va bene. That should be enough. Let's get out of here before the guards arrive.
The doctor. Behind you. Yeah. If you see on your mini map that little like exclamation point, that means that that's where the next objective is. Which one?
Ariazio, the sooner we're done with the doctor,
Oh, I
the
know the
sooner we
doctor.
can sleep.
Oh yeah, you have to get good at this. The climbing now.
Free run.
Yeah, push A too. We can move faster. Hold it. Now let
Going
go.
the wrong way.
I don't understand.
So it's like swinging. You push A till you go faster. You can jump from that
Upgraded
high.
version of the SNES Aladdin game. My goodness.
I only aim for
Wait,
you.
what?
Now talk to him.
Doctor. What are they called? Witch doctors. They had a bunch of like medicines.
Take that away.
Oh,
Bring me your secret.
I see now.
Send for that, doctor. Material di Troje. Why am I not surprised? It's not real. You must help me. That pretty face is his only asset. Get out of here. Grazie.
And that's what the guy has the score. Alright, just tell you a little about what they do, who they are.
Quite a night. Indeed. They were always much fun. Wait. Stay on. We should head home, Ezio. Father should be wondering where we've gone. Yes. Rather going to let up for a little race, then? Where? The roof of that church.
Oh, you're telling the race against you.
On the count of three. Uno, due, tre.
Go.
I'm ready.
Push in.
Baby brother still has much to learn. I almost feel bad about this.
What am I doing?
No shame, failure, brother.
When you're going up an object, don't push A.
Don't push it.
Oh, it took me a couple tries too. It's not easy free running. It's not easy going around jumping like that. Okay, No,
Do it.
no, 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 right there, right there, right there, right there. Oh!
I was in there. I didn't even see where it was.
Close.
I don't play in third person at all, so.
Oh, okay.
Baby brother still has much to learn. Come on, Tartaruga. Come on, then. This way. Where are you going? You'll see.
What the heck?
Go up there.
It is. It's like.
Yeah, if you push it, you'll jump up on top. Alright, no. Go up it. No, go the other way. Go back. Turn the other way, yeah. No, the other way.
This way?
Yeah, right there. Alright. Now, go up that way. Go up it.
I'm trying.
I'll push right trigger and be at the same time. Alright. Yeah, there you go.
That's what I was doing, and you just did this.
Just look up and push hard. Don't
Oh, you
push
have to
A.
keep pushing up?
Yeah, keep going up and then you have to push right trigger. Okay, you can't go up anymore. Go to your right. Yeah,
Oh,
keep
gotcha.
going. Keep going. No, like keep going right. You can't go right anymore?
No.
I guess it's difficult.
Guess so.
Come on. Just gotta get used to the way. It's like a real game.
Alright, come on.
It's great.
Let's go. Wait.
Ooh.
That just means a swap. There will be time enough for that. Wait.
Oh yeah, whenever you're on a ledge like that, just go over. You can always jump off of it and you'll land on hay. So you don't need to like escape from something.
Keep looking. Go to the golden path.
Am I going?
Get out.
Die.
Now go to the little target area in your map. You see the yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go there.
Dina! Who's that? Oh, it's you. Hello.
May I come in?
It's only for a minute.
Minute is all I need.
You cutie. Oh. We should push B to take off their shirt.
Alright.
See, they're just in private right now.
Christina! Christina! What is this? There's a lot in the dead. I'll kill you! No, that's not necessary.
That's an innocent.
Not that guy.
So you can either fight them or escape. Okay, if you do that and then once they're gonna hit you, if you push X, then you counter them.
I just gotta run. Is that what?
Or fight them. You can choose.
Did I do it?
No, until like.
Oh, I have to get out of the circle.
Yeah, you have to get out of the circle. No. Now go to exclamation point.
Back! It's Luna. She's back. Hello.
Yeah.
Alright, so just in time, I finished coding all of it. We're gonna go talk to Darian in the library and see how it goes. See how much progress we made. This was really fun to do on a stream.
Yeah, behind you.
I think. That was super cool. I loved all your guys' inputs. So we got 2 cutscenes done. Took a little longer, but I think it's worth. Oh, that's not right at all, but whatever. Halt, Randall Adrian, do not pass further. I am Darian Fortmore, spiritual guardian of this library. On whose authority do you unseal this sacred place? Okay, well the little dialogue talking pop-up particle is not timed correctly, but that's fine. I'll fix that in a bit. I'll say my own because I know there's more text. A skeleton monster killed my grandfather. With his last breath, he instructed me here. With no remaining family, my actions are no others but my own. Tarek Adrian has been slain? That is dire new. That is dire new. Only powerful magic could defeat a fully trained librarian. The skeleton monster you describe, it is an agent of the undead, a creature of chaos. Indeed, it is good that you acted as you did, and so swiftly. What is this place, and how can I avenge my grandfather? This does not quite look like it's centered, does it? None others than my own. That does sound better. Hold that thought. We'll change that. This is not right at all, but that's a programming thing. I don't like how it's not centered. I'll figure out how to fix that. Actually, I know why it's not centered, and I do know how to fix it. Okay, hold on. I need to write that into my notes, though, or I'll forget. Is this? What is this? Oh, okay. Not centered. Answer box. Okay, good. Then, what? How can I avenge my grandfather? I'll say that because there's more text. Anger is human, Randall, but there's more at stake here than revenge. This is the Kenneth Library, one of several hidden vaults throughout Rosera. Libraries contain ancient magic, the legacy of the Librarian Order. This is the magic you will need to defeat the undead creature. Why me? Why me? You are a librarian, Randall. By shouldering that blade and tucking that key within your cloak, you claim a legacy of over 1,000 years. The Librarian Order was founded those centuries ago to defend Rosera from evil. The evil that was the Kythan Emperor, the Emperor of Rosera. We called him last. He brought magic from chaos and used it as a weapon to terrorize the people. The Librarian Order defeated him and stole his magic. It was locked away in the libraries. We have persisted through generations and guarded these libraries to ensure that magic never fell into evil hands. And now? Well, why is magic so dangerous? It is dangerous because it is powerful. Magic has historically been a tool of oppression, a tool to control people. By the hands of those who are just, it can be used for good. And now? Now the magic must be entrusted with the last remaining member of our order. The undead have long been minions of last. If they have returned, it is better to take no chances. I will train you with this magic, and you will defeat the creature before it has a chance to harm the people of Rosera. What must I do? Search now this library. You will find 2 things. First, a boomerang. This is one of several librarian weapons designed to fight the undead. Second, a spell. It is the first of the 8 powerful spells originally crafted by Last. These I will teach you to use, and with them you may battle the creature that killed your grandfather. Go now and take luck, and good luck. So that's nice. Now we can go, you know, we have more cutscenes. There's this one with the boomerang chest, which is going to be way simpler now because I don't even think you need... Before Darian would like show up here and say something.
You can just go down. The same way as you go up, but instead go down.
But now I don't think we need that at all. And then there's the one over there with Revelation, which will also need Blessed because we explained more about the magic at the beginning. And then I need to fully flesh out his character, as in like what he says when you come and talk to him, but that's easier. That's super easy to do. And then we have the, so that's 1, 2, both of which basically just need to be trimmed down because we basically dealt with those topics. And then there's the one in Deep City and the one when you battle him. Those are the only other main cutscenes. I guess the other thing I should probably look at is Librarian. But I'll do a lot of that on my own. This was the most complicated one. That was a lot of help. Let's go fix those couple things and then I'll probably end the stream tonight because it's late.
Oh, look at this. This is gonna come back to you.
So we had, this is bad news or whatever.
I did not anticipate this. What does it matter? So you wait another day.
This is dire news. And then you said, none others than my own. Oh, none others.
Sure. Yes, now we're
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. That makes sense.
good to see you, Ezio.
Nice. So we can delete... I'm going to leave this here for now. This is the old text. Just in case there's something in there that I forgot, but we can delete this because that was all translated into code.
That's the system.
Okay, and then we got...
How are you? You shouldn't keep this from me.
It's Lucio.
Where are you?
Then we got this one.
Unfaithful.
Who told you this?
The other girls.
This one. And that
I
one.
thought they were my friends.
Better off without it.
We did it. Sweet. Alright, thank you so much, Luna, for stopping by, and the other two folks who were stopping by, but they're no longer here. That was really fun to do. I liked working on the lore, the story, getting the feedback. I think this is a huge improvement over how he talked before. Gave us way more information and in less time. Like, I mean, it's a little longer, but more questions broke it up. So that was a huge improvement. Definitely think makes the story much more fleshed out. I'm glad you had fun. It should be fun.
Jumping like that?
I think I'm gonna start doing this stuff on stream again. Like, I like to do something different each time, and this one was really fun compared to the others. I mean, I think it was fun before too,
Push
but
B and then it'll grab onto
so I might save some extra lore stuff to work on some other times. Maybe sometime when Derek can join us too, because I'm sure he would have fun with that.
You push A, you can jump on.
Anyways, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you around on the Discord servers.